And we are live, everyone. Welcome. My name is Trent, aka TD, and I'm joined by the killer, knowledgeable, kind-hearted Kitty, and the one and only Nick Kusters. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing this fine day?
I'm good.
It's great. I'm so happy to have you here, Nick.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about, man. Catch up on and get to know about you. Because like we've only recently developed a rapport uh, on that terrible social media site called Telegram. The only good thing about it is your coding channel, um, which
That's a
I'll
lot of praise. Thanks.
yeah, I would not go there if not for that. So let's go ahead and here's the only reason why you ever should go into Telegram right there. Let me go fire off a Discord tweet. Kitty, how are you doing this morning? It's really early there, isn't it?
5 a.m.
Damn.
Yep.
You don't drink coffee? Again?
Committed to my job. No, I don't drink coffee. I drink hot chocolate. It's loaded with sugar.
It's not the same.
I've got caffeine loads as well.
Nick, you coffee drinker?
Yeah, I'm actually more of a cappuccino guy, so I foam up my own milk and then fresh ground beans.
Of course you do.
So.
Of course you do. That does not shock me at all. Audience, the one thing I've learned about Nick is not only is he an absolute genius, but he would rather make it himself than rely on somebody else's shoddy workmanship. He would rather make it perfectly himself. That's what I've learned about him. And he does every time. It's pretty amazing.
It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. So what's this wrong mug comment about?
Yeah, I'll be right back. Give me like 20 seconds.
Okay, yeah, you got
Okay.
it. Yeah, and happy Friday, everybody. Is it Friday? What day of the week is it?
It's Friday for you.
Yeah. I mixed it up, launched.
It's Saturday morning for me. I've got a busy morning.
Okay.
Really busy morning.
So I have this one. Let me see. This one.
Ooh.
And this one. And then
So I can't see what they're
this
saying.
one. Yeah. It says Veron IT. And that's
Okay.
that's by the company name of the friend that's in chat. He has his own software company just like me. And he makes these cool little mugs. And I have them in every color of the rainbow. So
That's cool.
when I'm showing off a mug on stream, it should be his, right?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. What's the name of his software company, and yours for that matter?
Veron IT. Mine is NKCSS. It's a long acronym.
Yeah. So I think yeah. You showed me this here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
So this is Nick's
custom software solutions. Yes.
Yeah, awesome. That's what CSS stood for. I thought you were. Oh man, that is not
Crafty
the
with the
CSS
website.
I was hoping it was, dude.
I can write some
But TD's
CSS, but
hopes
yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, Nick's awesome. Front end dev. Oh yeah, and is this smart? So yeah, you've had some tools, built some tools that I've been familiar with for a very long time. Back when I played Our Planet, when I didn't know how evil WeScam is, and back when Alien Worlds was a thing. We got our sound effects turned on. You'll hear random noises pop into the chat. All of them y'all did hear that, right? Wax.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So your website is waxtools.naw. So now what's NAW? I'm guessing that's maybe your initials, maybe? No. What's NAW?
Nah, it all goes back to like when I got started on Wax. Everything in the Wax space has a .io domain, and I have loads and loads and loads of domains, but only one .io, because when it came out and I tried to find one, it's like, okay, let's see if I can find something short, something usable.
Mhm.
And NAW is Dutch for like name, address, and place of residence. So
Oh,
a long time ago, I had an idea of having like a sort of service to do quick address lookups and validation. So I was like, okay, let me just register that naw.io. And I never really used it. And it was really short. So when it came time to put on a bunch of stuff, I was like, you know what? I'll just use that domain that I have laying around anyways. People expect .io domains. So let me just,
I remember this.
yeah. A lot
I
of
use
people
this a
do.
lot. And you know what? I didn't know that it was. I don't think you were getting credit for this either. I think a lot of people thought Ennio had done this because
Nah, there's
that's what I
plenty
had
people
thought.
that there's plenty people that knew. There's actually, I can send you the link later. There's a few videos where like you have people talking about the site,
Uh-huh.
even like Bond, and in an interview with Anders, they talk about it and show it off. And I still have those links somewhere. I can
Yeah.
send it to you as well.
Whoops. We got our
Yep.
outdated.
Yeah, I found that out yesterday. Like the sunset date was yesterday, the 15th.
Yeah.
And I put off upgrading for the longest time because there has been so many issues with the new cloud wallet. Like when they announced it that they
The
were
Wharf
going to
Kit
have
one or
no,
okay,
the
just the cloud
my
wallet. Is
cloud,
that my cloud
yeah,
wallet? Yeah. Okay.
my
Yeah.
cloud
Yeah.
wallet.
Yeah.
When
I saw
they
you on Twitter. Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. So when they announced that there was a new cloud wallet and that the all was going to sunset, it's like after a few days, like at first it started like, okay, you have to upgrade because it will stop working. And when they posted that, all the internal links were still dead, so they had to wait like 3 or 4 days for the team to actually make the build of the new JavaScript library that actually makes it work. So
Right. Right.
that was a great start. Stuff can happen, you know. But yeah, it was a bit of foreshadowing for all the crap that happened, because like when I implemented it, and lots of other people, there were so many issues, like with blank screens, like they do a deploy and
Right.
then
Right. Right.
something breaks and it's not properly reloading, or just it stops working at all. So there were so many projects that went over and then quickly had to revert back because their dApps were offline because nobody could use them. So it's like, okay, I've done it twice. I've seen people keep having to roll back or do double implementations. Bless you, by the way. I was like, okay, I'm gonna put this off to the very, very, very last moment because it's not worth my time to upgrade now,
Right.
because there's too many issues. So yesterday when I finally got an error that I couldn't use it, I was like, okay, let's change it. And it's just I done the preparation beforehand.
How did you go about changing it? Did
It's
you?
just loading a different library, and you have to change the constructor for initializing it. So I
So
still
I
use
just
this.
swapped out at Nefty /UAL wax ULA dash wax or vice versa, which is one they built for Nuxt 3. But and I was in the next JS, but it worked seamlessly, and I went about my day. I think it was like literally the easiest way to fix it. Just uninstall the EOS DACIO one that was in there. I think the one that we all use, EOS stack, and installed the Nefty one instead, and that was it. It was that was for like a legacy website that wasn't gonna be able to be upgraded. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
My crap is even older than your legacy stuff, though. I was still using a WaxES library that's very old, but it kept working, so I never had a reason to upgrade. But because when I got started with Wax like 2 years ago and started building
Great.
stuff,
That was my next question. Yeah. So
yeah, sure.
you got when you said 2 years ago. So I guess the first question. Let's start a little bit further back than that. How long have you been in Web3/crypto, and what led you to Wax? How did you find Wax, and what was like your entry point? What was the first thing you got into?
Sure. Like the first thing I did with crypto was when Bitcoin was around $1, and I read about it on a yeah, but I didn't have the foresight to see that it would pop off. So
I saw it at 40, and it's not the same thing.
Yeah, it was really fun because like what I saw is I saw people talking about it, and I saw on a news site, I can't remember which one, but I saw a dude traveling the country with just Bitcoin. It's like you can't do anything but pay with Bitcoin. So it was paying for gas, or trading somebody like 80 to 100 Bitcoin for a tank of gas, stuff like that. And he crossed the country, the states, just using Bitcoin. So just bartering with people for food and essentials and stuff like that. So I was like, that's pretty cool. You could see
made a bunch of billionaires that on his way over, didn't he?
Well, if they kept it, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think most people saw it like I did. Like, this is pretty cool. I understood the technology, but I couldn't back then see like real world use, applicability, utility, because there were so many hurdles. And even if you look at it today, where crypto is, just going from and to fiat is still such a pain for so many people around the world. But at least now there are so many practical uses for it. But anyways, Bitcoin, $1. I read it. It was fun. It got in the back of my head. Like a few years later, or a few months later, I was working a job, and I had a computer, a Dell workstation, and it was like the technology back then. Yeah, CPUs kept using more and more power, so they were like, okay, we need to conserve power if possible. So if we're not doing a lot, you clock down the CPU. Right? That was right around that time that started. Like the multi-core, the Core 2 Duo and Core 2 Quad machines, and they would throttle back, get less power. And the Dell machine, whenever that would happen, so if there wasn't a high load for a while and it would clock back the CPU, there was a chance that just the entire machine would blue screen. So I figured out, I correlated it to just that, having like idle moments and then just random blue screens. So what I would do is ran a CPU Bitcoin miner, package just to one core, keep that on 100%. So it was a multi-core machine, so it wouldn't have any impact on my day-to-day. So I could still code, it wouldn't really affect me much. And the machine would stay stable all day. So I just kept that running while doing work. So I did that for a while. And no, I did not save that wallet. I was mining on I was mining on Slushpool, and even back then it was like you have a threshold for payouts. So I would get a payout, I think, every day or every few days, and it was set to, I think, 0.1 Bitcoin or something.
Which is it's a lot of money nowadays, still, right?
Yeah, but back then it was like, okay, you don't want to get a transfer every few minutes, so you save it up to conserve some resources. I was like, okay, this is fun, but it takes me weeks to mine in Bitcoin. So, yeah. With CPU, that wasn't even GPU mining. GPU mining was already starting back then, but it wasn't. Yeah, I didn't have a fancy GPU back then. So yeah, I did that for a while, and I never saved it. It was gone. So a few years ago, actually, I looked back and I logged into the Slushpool. And there was still like a small remainder there from the payout threshold. And even after all these years, I could cash that out. It was a few thousand euros. So that was a nice surprise. But like after that initial crypto, I really didn't do much with crypto anymore. So I saw news and I saw Bitcoin getting bigger and bigger. And I was like, cool. And there's always that thing in the back of your mind. But it's still like I never really had that moment for, even when it was at 10K, it was like, well, cool for the people that held on. Nice for them, right. And I saw the fluctuations. And then a few years later, there was a friend of mine from Norway that introduced me to Nano. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
Say it again.
Nano.
No.
So maybe you know Banano, the crypto.
Yeah. I sure do. Yep.
That's actually a fork of the Nano token.
So
Nano. Yeah. Nano is a crypto, and it's really, really cool. At least I thought it was really cool because it was the first crypto that I saw that had zero transfer cost. So you can basically set up a wallet, receive and send stuff without any gas fees, none whatsoever. You don't have to stake anything. It works right away out of the box. And the cool layer on top of that is that they built Nano, and that's a geo-fenced thing. So you could take a bunch of Nano drop it in a spot, and then say in a radius of 100 meters or 50 meters or whatever, you can claim 5%, 1%, 10% of that pot. So what people would do in in emergency situations in Turkey or in Africa, people would just drop Nano there, and local people there could claim it and get some support from that. And like in places that where banking systems don't work, people use Nano to, like we use ATM cards, etc. So it was really cool, and I saw like a proof of concept of a small role-playing game where everything in the game, like if you killed somebody, you get a small bit of Nano, and you could buy stuff in the game with Nano. I was like, okay, this is so fucking cool. I have to jump on this.
Yeah.
So that.
How come I've never heard of that? Kitty, have you ever heard of this?
I've heard of Banana.
Banana, obviously. I didn't know that was the history behind. Wow.
Did I?
You could,
Shocked when I just heard that.
from a flash on.
I'm not shocked, but
Daddy's interviewing a genius programmer right now, and going
hey,
great.
Noah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really cool, and that is what really got me back in crypto, because I was looking at that and I was looking, okay, how can I run my own node? How can I program against it? Because instantly, like, stuff started firing in my brain. I was like, this is awesome.
Right.
This is finally utility. There is no barrier to entry. You can use it, integrate it into everything. It's like, I want to do something with this because this gets my creative juices flowing, you know? I really like that.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, without a doubt.
So that got me back in looking at crypto. So I did a bit of GPU mining then with when Ethereum was booming, and I made an account on Binance. And then I saw the Alien Worlds token listing there. And that was like a new moment for me, because I was like, okay, this sounds cool. Like, I think there are so many people that came to wax through that one listing. So I staked a few $100 worth of BUSD, and I got like tiny fragments of TLM. I was like, okay, this is cool. I want to learn more about this. So I went to the website, clicked it. I got a wallet. I clicked mine, and I got like the same amount that people that stake like 100K USD on Binance got in one mine. I was like, wait, what's going on here? Something's wrong. So I kept looking. I was like, okay, so this token it's the same token, but you have to bridge it over to. Anyways, my curiosity was piqued. I saw the whole NFT thing, because before then I never had NFTs. I saw Atomic Hub. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I started rolling there. So I started mining. I told my wife, so you should do this too, because you get a lot of money by just clicking one stupid button. and that's how it basically started. And then there's like, okay, you want to basically equip 3 drills for maximum efficiency without paying too much. Okay, how do you do that? Well, you go to blocks. What? Okay, yeah, you go to this website and you log in and you build a JSON array and you submit it. It's like, this is shady as all hell. I'm not doing that. But then everybody kept saying is like, okay, are you really sure that this is the way? Yeah. And even people like with the official tag will say, no, this is absolutely correct. This is the way to do it. The UI doesn't do it, but this website lets you do it. And that's just the way to do it. Okay. So it's like, ain't no way. But I tried it and I was like, oh, okay, this is how it works. So then I told my wife, okay, here are 3 drills. Equip that. And she was on a Samsung phone. It's like, okay, how do I grab assets ID and then build a JSON array? It's like, okay, I don't know how to do this, because it's like on a desktop, it's okay. You can, with some instructions, you can follow, but on a phone, it's near impossible. So it's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to see if I can make this easier for you, because if this weird external website can do this, then I can do it too. So I started to looking at, yeah, right, because they're not an authoritative website. So if there's a way for them to do it, then there should be a way for me to do it. So I just dove in. I was like, okay, let's see how this all works. And I tore it to pieces. And I was like, okay. And then I built a proof of concept where you can just click, it loads your bag, and you can click the ones that you want. You do set bag, and it's done. And my wife can easily do that on her phone. And that's basically how it got started. And from then on, every time I saw projects refer people to blocks, I was, that's not the way to do it. And I built something.
Right.
That's how that all started.
Right. So now tell me about these other tools that, and let me post this up in the chat so everybody can see it, because there's definitely some useful stuff here that people are probably not if you're not an OG and you don't hang around in Telegram, which is probably a large percentage of our audience, unfortunately.
I
then
definitely don't hang around in Telegram.
Yeah, like I mean, you know,
Well, I've
who
joined
else?
the dark
Do you
side.
hang
for
around the
today.
sewer? Like, do you hang around in toxic waste plants? No. So you don't hang around Telegram. All right. So it's wax-tools.nawio.io.
This is basically something that's still pretty useful. And a bunch of stuff is collected there. So if you look at the top, there's like these 3 icons, and that's some basic information about wax. So top left is the CPU, basically how lower that number goes, the busier the chain.
Is that me? No, because I'm not logged in, so that couldn't.
Yeah, you're logged in. That's why it's green, because it will show you under personal info. It will tell you how much your head is obscuring it in the view, but under personal info, it will show you your state, wax, etc., and your allotment.
Oh.
So the background goes green because you're well within the limit. So if you're in higher usage, the entire background shifts. So I remember when, do you know TD? The other.
There's no other TD.
Sorry, I mean TC, sorry. The Yes, I Am Geek on Twitter. You know, with the... Let me show you. I'll
show me
it in chat. Maybe if you see his icon, you remember, you see him. He's pretty active on Twitter. If you don't know this number, it's meant. But
yeah, let's find out. Let me see if I'm friends with them. Did you send it? Yeah, here you go.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a geek. No, I've never seen this.
Okay.
We're gonna be friends right now, though. Or followers.
He's very much into the wax space, and he's I think he's actually the first guy that ever donated like 1,000 wax to me way back when. So
yeah,
he's
does he work for wax?
active. No. He's just a retired enthusiast, and he's just a very positive dude trying to shine the spotlight on everything that happens. And yeah, I always see him still active on Twitter. That's why I know, and that's also why he came to mind, because like that green background on the wax tools side, that tells you that your CPU is well within range. So when Mining Network came out and you had to do an action for every time, and you could not stack it, people were burning through their CPU. So he would have like this website on his tablet in front of his screen, and then check whenever it would go back to orange or green from red, so that he could do another action. So there were people that actually had the site open all the time just to
that is super clever.
I like it.
I don't know that I've ever seen anybody use a background like that.
That's an indicator, like
right,
like from a usability standpoint. Sometimes all you need to know is, am I okay, right? And you don't want to read all the numbers and see if you're okay. So if you can convey information without people even have, like, if you can squint with your eye and still understand what's going on.
I love it.
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, that's one of the things. But like, do you know how wax works with like your CPU, your resource model?
I don't. No, I know very little about the resource model. I know what each one is and does, and where they should be staked or purchase wise. But beyond that, like the technical spec, no. Please,
okay. I'll
educate
do
us.
a quick rundown. So like, on the top left, you have the CPU indicator, and that's basically the red text. That is basically, that indicates how busy wax is. The lower that number is, it's like a multiplier, right? The highest it can go is 200, and it gives everybody the most resources to use, and the lower it goes, the less it uses. So when you stake wax, you have a certain amount of actions that you can do, right? Every time you execute a transaction, a bit of CPU is used. So they actually calculate how long it took to execute your action, and that gets added to your list. They keep a rolling count of the last 24 hours. So everything that you've done in 24 hours is summed up, and that is your total usage. So if you wait a few hours, stuff that happened longer than 24 hours ago won't count anymore, and then you'll have more to do again. but your total amount, like you see it just jumped up. You have now 625.9 milliseconds remaining. It goes up again now. Do you see that on the website?
I did, yeah.
Okay. So that is basically, you have a fixed amount staked, but that doesn't mean you have a fixed amount of stuff that you can do. So basically, depending on how busy the chain is, you can do more or less. So
yeah,
on Wax,
this is just my cloud wallet too, but this is what I use.
Yeah, it's perfect to illustrate. So on Wax, every half a second, a new block is made, right?
Okay.
So everything that happens on Wax, it's chunked up into half a second segments, and that gets recorded on the blockchain, and then it produces another block. Every block that's made, they count up the total CPU time, and if that's above a threshold, like a percentage of use, this number will go down. So they say, okay, it's really busy. Let's give everybody a little bit less to do, a little bit less allotment, so that the next block maybe won't be as filled up. Right? So every block that gets created, if it's filled up above a certain percentage, you will have less and less every time until it dips below. As soon as it dips below a certain percentage usage, they say, okay, we have some spare room. Let's give everybody some extra headroom. And that's why that number in the end goes up and down. So you can see if that number goes up, it means last block was below the threshold. If the number goes down, it means the last block was above that threshold. And that's how the chain balances usage and pressure dynamically. So it won't instantly choke everything off. It will gradually step it up and ramp it up to make sure that like heavy users run out of stuff to do at a certain point. And that's basically what this does. It will show you your usage, your active allotment based on how busy the chain is, and
yeah.
So that's this, and this was very important when there was like you had our planet.
It was
with the crafting,
right? Yeah, man.
Yeah, and like people that just get started mining on our planet when there wasn't a lot of boost available, and you have to pay for every click. So lots of people would use this site just to know, okay, am I within my range again, and can I execute again?
Right. Yeah,
I used to play like Funny Cats and Lost Pirates and that. I don't play any of them now, obviously, but it would have been handy back then. Like if I knew about it, I didn't know about it. So
yeah, I didn't either. And the invent, like we used to have a friend who used one of those services. I forget which one. It was just an SMS service that he wrote a script that was just watching, and anytime an invention was made, it just fire out text to everybody. And like I remember like 2-3 in the morning having to work at like 6, get up for work, which was at Dell, by the way. You mentioned Dell earlier. I don't know if you knew that about me.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I'm here in Austin. Well, Round Rock is where their headquarters is, and I worked there for like a decade, 12 years maybe, before I went full time in Web3. Verdict's still out on that one.
At the height of the Our Planet hype, I actually got an invention notification on my phone, and I pulled the car over. I used my phone to remote desktop into my PC and started crafting on the side of the road.
You had to, bro. You had to. It didn't matter what time it was. You better get up and get there and make that damn invention.
And it was so much fun. It's like it brought back a lot of good memories.
Yeah, it was, and we haven't, and so I'm not a fan of WeScam. I am, in fact, very much in opposition to them. I know we briefly talked about it in chat. We can kind of go over it, but we'll probably do that once we get to the OIG talk. But yeah, man, they have brought me a lot of fortune and a lot of guilt with that fortune, and a lot of fun times, a lot of good memories, and I made a lot of incredible bonds along the way. I don't know if you know Pigwig, but he was
a couple creator of the original crafting tool.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I never talked to him really. I saw him post in one of the Telegram groups recently about something technical, but I don't see him around a lot. But he's still there.
So he was. I unfortunately drug him into Green Rabbit, the disaster that was, and he finally just now I think uh, is back to work full time, which is it's unfortunate, but um, uh, he's been around, and he's down there with Kitty in Australia. So being that I keep crazy hours here in the U.S.,
Mhm.
he's usually around when
Who
I'm
was that?
around. His name
Who
is
was that?
Pigwig. Pigwig,
Oh
his
yeah,
name
I've
is.
heard Pigwig.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. What was the most profitable invention? What was your best mythic that you ever pulled?
I only pulled one mythic, and it was a pipe. And I actually, on my channel, I have one of the thumbnails. I have like somebody Photoshop that pipe onto my face, and I use that for a thumbnail for one of the videos. I think if you,
Yeah,
I think it's yeah. I use that in a couple actually. I see like the 73 new R Planet elements and the NFT token talk. I see. I
yeah.
use that version.
So let me
Yeah.
ask you this, really quickly. Why do you know why they dumped everything? I'm guessing that they're getting ready to manipulate this next election, and that's they were getting RAM back. Um, what was the reason for them dumping everything? Did you get everything back uh from your staking? Do you
Um,
know?
what do you mean from like the R Planet staking and
Uh-huh.
stuff? Yeah,
Yeah. Like about
I
a week or
actually,
two ago, or three
yeah,
weeks ago.
I told Nazar like 1 or 2 months ago. It's like, well, with everything over for our planet, why don't you just return everything? Because it's still locked in the contract. It's taking up a lot of RAM. Why don't you just return it to everybody and close it all up? Because yeah, you can wait till people do it, but yeah, why not just take the action yourself? You have plenty of CPU, and then it can unwind. So and it took a while, but yeah, he thought it was a good idea.
Yeah, so I rocked out a mythic flag. I remember, and that and at the
Ooh, that was a
time,
big one.
that
Damn.
was it was the biggest. Like at the time, it was like I was the first and the biggest, and it was surreal because the extrapolation on that was $500,000 a year,
Jesus. Yeah, that's crazy.
which is a lot per month or
Yeah.
day even.
Yeah.
And it didn't even. I don't think it even lasted a month. It might have. I don't think it did. Um,
Yeah, the flag
but
was more
I
near the end. Like that was after gold, etc. Gold was a very big jump. Like the four shits that turned into gold. That was a
Right.
very big
Sam
jump.
got a gold. Sandy, my business partner, got a gold money, I think. Mythic
Yeah.
money. Yeah, mythic money, and that one was like 3 times the size of the flag or something crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
I think I got
yeah,
a legendary, but it was like one of the smallest elements that existed. Like I got a legendary salt or something. I was like, oh
yeah,
man, I had such bad luck with all the pulls. But yeah,
yeah. I don't know what to do with all of these because I even have I'm sure you do as well. I was just looking at them.
yeah,
Some of
I
these
kept a
shame
lot.
chains.
I didn't burn a lot of them. I kept a bunch because I was like, I'd rather keep the memories than burn it for some ether. So whichever way
Yeah,
it turned out, I don't really care. It's still part of history. I had a lot of fun there in the end. So I was like, okay, I'll just keep those NFTs, even if I could sell them for some value or burn them. Even back when it was still a good idea, maybe I was like, nah, it's not worth it. I'm just keeping a bunch of these.
yeah. Like I have these original ones. And I think some. I should have some like Earth and I thought I did. Maybe they didn't. Oh yeah. See, like the original 4. Do you remember these?
Yeah, I actually I found our planet like 2 hours after the first land sale or something. So yeah, you
Uh,
can still convert them, I think, but yeah, I just won't do it. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just curious if they hold any value.
No, I don't think so. Not much.
I wouldn't think so
It's
either.
sentimental, probably.
Yeah, I mean, like, Yeah, but then a sentimental of what? Because I will not support the project. I will not support the company. I feel like uh, they should be charged and imprisoned. Um, and so I can't in good conscience. I don't know what to do with them. Okay, and then like so, just give them away to other people and let it be their crisis of conscience. Like um, I don't know.
Maybe
There's like
someday you'll look back and have still
yeah,
a few
like
fond
I
memories.
yeah,
I'll just
I'm a big hodler, man. Like I mean, if you look at my
I,
sales to
I just check my wallet. You'll
yeah,
cry.
which is what? What's your
I
wallet?
it's
All right, damn, that's older than mine. Wait, MSM, yeah, no, MSM, not the same length. So it's probably around the same time, I would think, right? Roughly.
yeah, it's 2 years, just over 2 years ago for me.
Yeah.
I wish I was a bit earlier. It would have made a big difference for a lot of things, but I don't regret anything.
No, I don't. So let's talk about so you said Wednesday you missed the OIG talk with Kafer. I did as well.
Mhm.
I did almost I mean unintentionally and I did have somebody my good dear friend Elsie who I know was there and participating. She
Mhm.
reached out and asked if there was anything I'd like to ask, but um here's my opinion on the upcoming OIG election. Um, I don't think that there's any possible way that they're going to allow Kafer to not win it. Um, I'd be shocked. The only thing that I could see happening would be like some like weird like here. Well, we know there's been talk of how corrupt and fraudulent this is, so we'll let somebody else win it and then but then like have like some backup plan where he's still running it because here's the thing I personally believe that Kafer is the only human being OIG that there is. Like I know that the person that we've seen as Raikkonen, I know that that's an actual person because I've done the research to find that actually
I've
has
met
a
him
digital
in real life,
footprint.
actually. I've
So
met him in real life.
you've met
Yeah.
that face
Yep,
that we
I've
see
met
pictures.
Janis and I've met Kafer in the
Okay.
Nifty Blocks event in Hilversum last year.
Okay, and you talked
It
to
was
them about OIG stuff, and it didn't like it
yeah,
wasn't
it's
like
actually
Kaver's cousin that was.
no.
Uh,
It's actually
okay,
Janis who encouraged me to run for OIG as well.
okay. Why? So why does he refuse to do a video interview? And the one video interview he doesn't appear on. Like it's very suspicious.
I don't know. I can't answer that. He would have to answer that
Right, right.
himself. But
Yeah, and then like
I've met the guy. He exists.
okay,
It's really yeah.
I knew he existed. I don't feel like there's anybody doing the OIG job except for Kafer. I think he's the only one who does the reviews. I don't think the other
No,
I don't even know who the third one is. Like
actually, before the OIG, before I was like, I'm gonna do this, I had a few hours long call with Janis Rakeden, and he
yeah.
actually showed me how the job is done, how the reviewing works, how they do it. So he actually went through like his job, how he does it, to show me, and I had a back
Okay.
and forth with him about a lot of that stuff. So
Okay, then I stand corrected.
how it actually works is that they usually they just split up the entire list of BPs and each does a section. They do the
Okay.
reviews and do the checking and then they confer with each other, put them all in a big heap and go through it, all the ratings, etc., and have discussions
Right.
where there's concern or they don't
Right,
agree.
right.
So that and
Okay.
I actually talked to Joseph. I'm in a private group somewhere through.
So that's the third OIG that you're talking
Yes, and I only
Right. How
talk to
come we
him
never-
digitally, but yeah, I know quite a bit about him, and I have conversations with him regularly as well. So that's also a
and
separate person who lives
Kafer
in
at the same
Spain.
time. Like they've pinged you at the same time.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Then I stand corrected on that. I mean, maybe it's just me. It seems odd that there's
Yeah, the
only
thing is,
ever.
I can understand a lot of the issues that there are because yes,
Jose P. Blocks Barcelona is
yes,
excellent.
exactly. Joseph. He was actually a Brock producer way back when, I think.
Yeah.
But the thing is, this whole job, OIG, but even block producer, it comes with a certain set of risk as well. I'm not sure if you know, but I'm not gonna name names, but there's like a block producer that has actually sent like pictures of his kid at school with a cross on it, and like people go pretty far. So there's a big incentive when you're linked to crypto to not be too public, right? Because there are a lot of wackos out there.
So say this again. He's got a threat on his child's life.
Yes.
Yeah. See, so whoever did that.
That's a bit psycho.
Yep.
Yeah,
but
is.
It's not uncommon, sadly. So
right, it's not, and especially when you have like keyboard warriors, like it's and the international landscape that we're operating in also emboldens those types of actions, because not only is to do like it makes it really hard. Like, but if something like that were to happen and the person were in the US, like, oh boy, like that's yeah.
Like that's one of the risks that I take myself, because I'm a very public person. You can easily find my address, etc. And yeah, so and that who that happened to is also a very public person who can easily be found. So I can understand that people are like, I don't need to have my face and my full name and lots of public activity, especially when you're in a place of power or influence or tied.
Right. So what I've noticed, and going back to the OIG, so just my in my personal experience in my careers, I know that anytime I've been given any type of power, like I've been promoted to supervisor, promoted to manager, I have subordinates. To an extent, it always corrupts you. It does. It goes to your head, and you do and act and say and do things that you would have not done had you not been given that authority or leverage over the next person.
It depends. I think I don't think that's true for everybody, but
well,
it's
have you seen the Stanford
you
experiment or read about the Stanford experiment? That's an extreme example, but I believe that on some degree we are all just we're predisposed to it. It's a thing that happens, and if you're not cognizant of it, and you're not cognizant of it, and you're not, I forget what the other criteria to avoid it, but just at least just knowing that it's a thing is like, it's important, right?
Sure,
because I think otherwise
maybe it's because I've never been really in management positions, etc. I've always been like a software developer. I've always loved coding, but like a few years ago, it's already a lot of years ago, but when I was freelancing for a company, they actually wanted to hire me, and I get that all the time. But they came to me with like a proposal that I couldn't say no to. It was like, okay, I want to make you the CTO of my company. I want you to run this ship and make sure that this startup does well. So,
whoa, Nick, you're getting a little spicy early on with your wax. I happened to scroll through.
Now
what is this, RadaQuest?
Yeah, that's RadaQuest. It's not that spicy, but yeah, some are a bit. Yeah.
That's funny. I'm sorry, I forgot I had this up in the background.
Yeah, no worries.
Go back to that.
So yeah, and it got to be the CTO at a startup, and
yeah,
I thought without management experience, what I did was just listen to people. So it's like it's like 6 to 8 weeks in. There was one guy they hired there, and he was like, I would really like, if possible, could I maybe do some backend work? And he was like, I know it's probably not right to ask, but I really would like to do that. I was like, well, sure, let's talk on Monday and see what you can do. And he started crying. I was like, what the hell is going on, right? He said, well, I've asked 2 times before. It's something I really want to do, and I'm just so grateful to get this opportunity. I'm like, dude, if getting that opportunity makes you cry, that means that you were so unhappy before. You shouldn't come in to work if you're that unhappy. Because if a change like that makes you cry, that means you're really, really unhappy with the way things are going, and no job is worth that. And so after that happened, I was like, okay, I'm going to talk to everybody. What are you doing? What do you like to do? And it's like, I think 40 or 50% of the people doing work there was doing work that they didn't want to do. So I switch up that whole thing there. I was like, why don't people talk? Why don't they just, or when they
Right.
talk, are not listened to? So I think like if you have power, there's also lots of possibilities to do good, you know? And
So there is, and I'm not saying that you are instantly corrupted. I feel very strongly about with that absolute power corrupts absolutely. Uh, um, it just does. And did you happen to catch? This was a while ago. So I interviewed Kafer back before the last election, and I thought it went really well. I've always been very outspoken and critical. I feel like you as well. And there's a few of us that have been thorns in the side of the OIG and wax for that matter. And personally, that's never going to change because that's just part of my personality. And I feel like you kind of explained the being Dutch that it's like you said something like it inherently makes me an asshole and I can't help it or something. How did it go?
yeah, I'm I'm
I'm just
somebody
kidding.
that but let me just explain that a bit. I'm somebody that I really don't like negative influences in my life. So if there's something that's a negative influence in my life, I just cut it out. I don't deal with bullshit, and that's
Yeah.
also like something that really made me pause to run for OIG in the first place, because I was like, I'm not sure if I'm the most equipped guy to haggle back and forth over some stuff when tempers get heated. But yeah, in the end, I think it would be
Right.
okay. But that's just something that I do when it's like it's just a negative conversation. I just like, okay, have fun. I'll go do something else. So
yeah,
a while ago in like the Wax unofficial Telegram, I found some stuff that was like this really weird. In the end, it was pretty benign, but like I came out and I was like, this is weird, and I started like dumping the stuff that I found and asking questions and being a bit upset about it. And people were like, why are you always just so like 100% right away? And it's like you're too intense, and I don't know. I was like, okay, if you don't want me helping you, then I'm fine. I'm just gonna do something else. So there were
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, there were just a few people that was like, yeah, Nick, you need to take a chill pill. And it's like, okay, fine. I'll
People
take a chill
that
pill.
are probably the ones that have the most to lose by I mean, listen, if you can take corrupt, what's the most corrupt? Any government or police precinct or whatever, you know, they should, when you come to them with a complaint about something that their officers did or their politicians did or they should want to hear that. They should want to hear that, get the details, not be immediately defensive and dismissive, because like that is, in my opinion, a sign, like one of the triggers for the sign of guilt. Like why are you not even allowing me give it? No, it's not. No, you're right, and truthfulness.
I can give a great example. Like, do you know Lucas, the CTO of Wax?
Sure, yeah. Flies off the handle if you say anything negative. Yep, I know.
Exactly, but that's also I've seen that a lot, and I have a bit of that in myself as well. Like when you attack my baby, it can be really hard to hear, you know. So it needs to take a bit of it takes some restraint to not fire back right away, and so I can understand that, but there are also levels to that. So somebody
being
who's
critical, being critical of, but like whose baby is the OIG
or the way in this case it wasn't the OIG. It was just like when Wax fucks up with stuff, I'm
right. Where he's tweeting about 400K DAUs, which is just patently false, right? Yeah. And with it in a way that makes it allude to that those are actually users or human beings.
Yeah.
It's I know what you're talking about. Sure, yeah.
Like,
And I'm
like
sorry
if
I
you
interrupted you.
Nah, I do the same. It's when you're passionate about talking. Don't worry. Like if you go to my Wax Tools site, you have the three icons in the top. The top right one is actually the active queue for the Wax random number generator, the ORNG.
Right here.
Yes. And if you're, do you know? I don't know if you know this, but if you want to do anything that has a chance or a source of random, there's a specific way to do it, or it will be gamed. Right? It will be abused. It will be exploited. And the way to do that on Wax is to use orng.wax. And it's pretty technical. We don't have to go into it, but basically,
you send it in nonce. I did it for Waxoff not too long ago.
Okay, so yeah, you send in a request, and it gets handled asynchronously outside of the chain, and then gets pushed back, and then it gets processed. So you put something in the queue. There's a worker that pulls it out, and then it goes back down. That was written not so great, and it was monitored not so great. So oftentimes it would like go up to 700, a few thousand, which basically means that nothing on Wax that uses randomness, so games and pack openings or minting.
Yeah. Like the what was it? The TMNT, I think it was a drop after the MLB drop failed. That were all that's what you're referring to, right? Like the randomness just gets broken.
Yeah, that it means that you can do stuff, but it never resolves. So you start to open your pack, but you never get your NFTs and stuff.
Okay.
For like there was this ZOS, like Zombie Outbreak Survivor. They had this game with where you could do runs. Yeah. So if you would claim them, you would never get your results until the queue would run again. So that's something that would break often, and they wouldn't notice right away. So what I would do is like, okay, send a screenshot. Okay, the random number generator is broken again, and I send it and I tag Lucas, and yeah, he got really pissed about that at a certain time, just for me just bringing it up every time, because I was like, how can it happen that after all this time this still happened? And there was always excuses, and it's like a back and forth of name calling. I was like, okay, you know what, it's fine, I'm done, just so I just had enough at that point, and I just was like, okay, I'll move on. And that's something that I just do. If something is just no longer a positive influence, I just move on. I was like, okay, you're a boss, find somebody else to do it.
I feel you on that, although I feel like that's just a travesty in a lot of these cases, man, because somebody with your experience and your intellect is absolutely needed to effectuate change. And I understand that, like the non-conflict personality types, and which are unfortunately a lot of the times the like exactly what I just described, like highly intelligent, highly perceptive, and analytical, and all of that. And for whatever reason, like they just shy. I don't know if it's like maybe just dumber people or more more conflict prone. Like maybe if so, I'm glad that at least I have that dumbness in me, because I feel like it's needed. A lot of the stuff that I was tweeting out and about during the OIG, like it wasn't even like these weren't even like wasn't my research, and it wasn't I wasn't necessarily fact checking everything, which in hindsight was a mistake. I won't do that again. But the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and I've found that to be true. And if I can serve the community in any way, I'll do it. And if that means that like something needs to be screamed at someone, I'll be the one to scream it. That's fine, as long as I agree with what's being communicated. And a lot of the stuff that was going on, I felt like questions needed to be asked. The election is a complete and absolute fraud. You know this. You were about to win the last one. And that's when, and I guess you didn't know the specifics of this until after. I know that I didn't. But so there was, and I could probably pull up some of the stuff for just the sake of actually posting some actual data, so that it's not just me saying words. Y'all can go do your homework on this if you'd like.
Thanks for the kind words, Elsie.
So behind me is a wax detective. I believe this is the name of the site. And what this is showing here is that on the 19th, which the election ended on the 20th, I believe, right?
Yeah,
and you lost it in the last seconds, right? Like in the last
it may be like the last hour or last 2 hours or something, but
right
at the end, because I was pretty well ahead for most of the time, but
right, and as you should have won it, maybe everything happens for a reason, man. I don't know. I people wanted me to run, and it's like, you don't join a criminal organization, and you don't join the mafia to take the mafia down from the inside. Like, you join the mob as an informant, maybe, and then you end up in the with a pair of cement shoes when they find out. But like, you're not going to really, like, it's going to be the FBI or the government or something that's got actual leverage over the mob that takes them down. Like, the informant's just a pawn piece. And I don't, although that would be extremely useful to see the malfeasance from the inside. I don't know that that's the way to go about it. But that said, let me just kind of briefly just summarize what we're looking at here. So on the 20th, so Spacecraft X, do you remember that? They rugged.
I heard that name a lot of times. I haven't seen the project. I've just heard about it.
So at that time when Spacecraft came out, there was a lot. There was War Space, there was Spacecraft, there was Space This, Farm That, all basically cookie cutters. And I remember at the time, people had said that, oh, this is our planet project, or this is a WeScan project. And the response that we got back from that was that, oh, we were just contracted to write some smart contracts, right? Specifically for Spacecraft. I don't have that direct from the horse's mouth, but like vicariously through somebody that apparently had asked in a telegram, that they stated that they were just helping with the smart contract. So now fast forward to this election, and on the 19th of January, the account that was clearly linked to the rug pull that was known as Spacecraft withdrew 2.7 million WAGs, split it in half, and what I can only assume was a lame attempt to obfuscate it before sending it to Hugh Boy, the exchange. Sent it there, and then sent it back to their voting account, the account that they were going to vote with, and the numbers add up so that the 2.7 million is the exact amount that was transferred out. So 2.7 and 2 transactions went in, 2.7 went out minus the Hubai fees. So now we're talking about like the probabilities of this being anything other than what it looks like are so minuscule that you have to just say, let's just take it like this is damning evidence. Like, you guys, first of all, said that this wasn't your project. So how do you have access to the 2.7 million wax that's still like the community's wax that you stole from them by selling them this rug pull? How is it that you have access to it? And whoever, I guess, didn't just want it anymore. And then it's this ZXC account. And that's the one that essentially put Raikkonen in the lead for good. And this is patently wrong. I can't imagine that in some jurisdictions that they're manipulating what is supposed to be a publicly held and democratically led, which is also a big farce. Anybody thinking that your votes matter, they don't. They'll tell you that they do. They do not. There's about I used to say 4. It's probably more if you include Atomic Hub, which this is how broken it is, like Atomic Hub has to not vote because like whoever they voted for, like, so that's not how can you say that that's not a broken system? What happens if they change their mind one day? Say, you know what, we're going to vote this time. Sorry, you know, like that's super broken. So if you think your vote counts, it does not count at all for nothing.
Well, if enough people would vote, you could outvote them. But yeah, it takes a
No,
lot.
that's not true. That's not true. Not a BP. You cannot. Yeah, you cannot outvote. You could not outvote the BPs. Like
But
maybe individually.
Yeah, but there are only a few BPs that actually have large amount of resources, because if you look at it, I talked to all the BPs, right? When I ran last time, I was like, "Hey, I'm Nick. A lot of people know me. They know what I'm about. That should have been enough, but it isn't, because Ben. I don't know if you know Ben from NFT.
Of course I know Ben. Yeah, we butted heads plenty of times. Yep.
He's a former OIG, and he was like, "Nick, if you really want this, you really should talk to everybody." I was like, "Well, it makes sense." So what I did was I DM'd everybody. I was like, "Hey, I'm Nick. I'm running for OIG. This is what I'm about, and I would love to get your support, because they're the guys with the big wallets, and you need their support, right?" And so I did that, and I got a lot of support, which I'm really thankful for, from a lot of BPs as well. But if you look at them, a lot of the BPs don't have that much wax actually staked, because they also take it out to pay for operation expenses, etc. There are a few BPs that don't need to pull it out because they have other ways to get funds, etc., that have big stacks like Pink and Weekend. Though they are the biggest, really. But there's like, you can have 20 BPs vote and still not match what we can add to the vote. So yeah, it's not just that every BP is very big. And I also messaged Jonah and can't think of from Pink, and they were like, exactly like you said, well, we won't vote in the election out of principle, because if we would vote, that would skew the results way too much, because we have over 60,
like when you hear that, as if you're supposed to be to me, that just boggles my mind. Like when you hear that, that's like what would you do if the fire department came to your house, right, and said, "Hey, we were doing inspections of fire alarms, but we're not going to do this one, because if this one catches, it's going to fucking burst into flames immediately and kill everyone inside. So there's no sense to even check. They're not going to even have a time to sound off." Like if you heard that, wouldn't you be like, "Well, shit, I better do something about this"? But instead, you go living in your house made of whatever, like.
It's not really the same, but
no, it's not.
For them,
on the fly analogy.
Yeah, but for them, it's like it's two parts. Like, one is, if we vote, we have such a big impact. We don't want that. And the second one is, philosophically, should BPs even be allowed to vote?
No, absolutely not. It's a conflict of there's so many conflicts of interest, Nick. I'm sorry. I'm
yes and no. I feel both ways about that. And if I had a perfect answer, I would give a perfect answer. It's the same with like that people don't like that you can vote with wax. The thing is, there isn't a better one. Data Junkie asks, what's Weekend's motivation to vote against Nick though? They like, right, Jan is better. Actually, I know the guys from Weekend. I interacted with the people from Weekend a few times. I've talked to Nazar a few times as well, and he has been supportive of me in the past, but when he learned that Giannis was running again, he was like, okay, we have to support him. It's their prerogative. I don't like it, but there's not much that I can do about it, really.
So that's the thing. It's like, hey, the ape man is in the house. Thanks for the raid, dude. Y'all are just coming in right in the middle, and I'm sorry, Kitty.
Welcome, Raiders.
we're dominating this conversation, and I'm sorry.
No, it's
what do
all
you?
right. I'm still half asleep. Like it's only 6 a.m. here, so
Well, we're gonna get.
I can be convinced to shut up for a few minutes.
No. This is great. I think that,
I've got nothing
especially
right now. I'm listening and learning.
there's a good one.
No, they're not coming through.
Las
I'm not hearing them.
Vegas. Listen to them. Hold that last note. That was awesome.
Is anyone else hearing those? Because I'm not hearing them.
Did y'all hear the Viva Las Vegas?
Nope.
How come y'all heard the last one then? God
I
damn
didn't
it!
hear any. I've not heard any.
I had just like a
Yeah, that's the background music in StreamYards.
Y'all are killing me, man. I asked y'all if you heard the Wega Wega one, and
but maybe the rest of the stream can hear it.
I'm so upset right now. No, they can't. Y'all can't hear it, and I can't hear it. Is everything still okay? Is everything still good?
Yeah, I'll just answer a question. Meanwhile, Plex is asking, if Nick became an OIG, what changes or ideas would it be most excited to focus on? And there's a few things that I would like to do. One thing is, like I said, I saw what the job entailed because I watched Giannis do it, and I went through it with him. I was like, there's so much manual stuff that shouldn't have to be manual. So what I would really like to do is just automate a bunch of that stuff and then just have a way to manually verify some things, but just take away lots and lots of the manual checking stuff, and probably also tighten up a few things and make them more strict. So like quality of life kind of things to make sure that the checks are better and easier on the OIGs themselves. Then there is the whole thing that's a big issue right now, and that's also what you see here is like there is so much unknown about the OIG that that people just start to wonder and think, well, what could be the reason for this? And then stories happen. So I would really like to kill that and just take the community in, and maybe just stream while I'm doing the job and take questions and stuff like that to just give more visibility to what actually happens.
Nick, is there any chance that you might change your mind on running?
No, not really. Like I've said this recently, like it took a lot out of me to run. I've been asked to run for OIG by a few people even before the time that I actually ran, but like with the job that I have and long-term projects, there was never really a way for me to clear up enough time to actually do the job, because it really does take me.
Can you hear that?
Yeah. But it's too loud for me to keep talking.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Yeah, there we go. Everybody get him in now. Someone's like, I thought you turned it off for the interview. Like, nothing will ever be that serious. I'd explain to the president. I don't care who it was. Oh, those are just sound bites of our most loyal.
Everyone's gonna wake me up now.
Sleep is the cousin of death.
It's me.
Yeah, damn it. Your piece is broken.
That one did not. Oh, devastated.
Yeah, that was weak. Sorry. Here we go.
It's me, nostalgic.
Yeah.
What about Jam?
Yeah, Jam's is broken too. His is loud, man. And long. I might have to edit that one down. All right.
We're not Jam, and no, we're not today.
All right, let's get a Crittercraft rolling. What do you think of Crittercraft? Nick, are you a fan?
I've seen it. I never really participate.
What? Oh well, you have to participate. You got to blow everybody up. No. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get it fixed. So you guys see it in the background. Y'all know what to do. Exclamation play followed by your wax wallet address. We're talking OIG. It's coming up here at the end of the month. I intend on publishing. I know I've been saying this. I even have some artwork that I went and out of my way to get done as a little promo for the the article, it said, and I'm going to go in. I'm going to go hard because I feel like there's stuff that the community is should be exposed to, not necessarily take my opinion on. So I think I'm going to split the blog article up into 2 sections, and like the first one being just simply stating black and white facts with no subjectiveness or interpretation. Just like these are blockchain facts. This is data. It's irrefutable, immutable, and these things happened. And whatever they mean, we'll address in the second part. And then in the second part, if you look at their history, just take our planet alone. Do you know how much money our planet? Like, I don't know the actual answer to this. I'm going to get it. But can you imagine? I can tell you that when I was on the Green Rabbit team, I know that drop, we netted $1.5 million. $1.5 million. That's how things were like. That's insane.
Yeah, for our planet though, there weren't a lot of big drops, right? They had the land drops and a few of the mining drops, but they were very reasonably priced that didn't raise much money.
They were, but
the most money circulated through all the trading of the NFTs, the secondary market, and the Aether token.
Yeah, so y'all didn't know this. So before the revelation about Adam, aka Venom, came to light, Sandy and I both had I from the get-go had warned Sandy about just like this gut instinct. So I've been around a lot of I don't know how to put this lightly, bad people, and like they give off a certain, like, maybe even every dog knows his own is even appropriate. But I could just tell that he was not a truthful person. He was not a genuine person, and a person who cared about anything other than his own personal gain. And it was evident at a hotel in California when we had that like we did a drop party. It was insane. Like, people just don't do those things anymore. But when the drop wasn't selling out, like, he just went and made up a usage for the 3D things, and like didn't even clear it with like me, who was leading the tech team, and the intent was to just like hype through falsities, right? And that was kind of like the turning point. Sandy and I left to form NFTG before the I didn't know anything about the granny situation where he had tricked this poor schizophrenic woman into spending $300,000 of her retirement money on security equipment, telling her that the government was listening to her because she was mentally ill, which is super disgusting. I make jokes about stealing from Walmart because they deserve it, but anybody that could do that to a human being, an individual, yeah, we're talking about Venom. Yep. Is just, and I can tell you, he was convicted of it. He went and served time in jail, and normally I'll be forgiving. Like, if you pay your debt to society and come out a changed person, then that should never be held against you. It's a done deal at that. Like, people have no idea what you went through to pay your debt. No idea. And so for them to continue to be judgmental, it's a very wrong thing to do. But I can tell you, the man that came out of that prison was the same one that went in and just found a new way to do what he wanted to do. The Walton family are people too. Damn it, Jaws just didn't work. No. They're real people, as in they existed.
I like Divine's joke.
Where's it at?
Acid Tea Granny was an actual granny.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
That's another project on Wax. Yeah. Stealing from a corporation is not. It's especially
Yeah, the mugshot, man. And the only reason why he got caught is because the attorney that was covering, like, I guess her her stock and her stocks or something to do with, like, maybe her 401k or something, called the son and been like, "Hey, she's taking out a lot of money really fast. Like, what's going on?" And yeah, that was the but I mean, you know, um, of all the bad things that I've ever done, I've never lied or like moral turpitude, I think is what I'm looking for, right? Like there's certain crimes that even if you get convicted of a misdemeanor, at least here in the States, um, that like you can't get certain jobs like bank tellers. Like if you get a background check and you have a petty theft from when you were like 18 years and 1 day old, it was like, a day after your 18th birthday, and you got caught stealing something worth $5 from the corner store, but you got charged with it, and it was a misdemeanor. Like you can't work at the bank. Like they're not going to let you. That's a moral turpitude crime, and most of them are deceit. They're crimes of um, just like very low moral. Well, at least whatever the judgment of is, and I feel like um, this is relevant because of how morally bankrupt I feel like both Wax and AOIG are from the top down. I know I've mentioned it a few times. If you scroll through their CEO, which Sandy is not unfamiliar with William Quigley. They've spoken several times, and Sandy maintains a relationship with some people who are still very close to Quigley. And I've asked him if he thinks that there's a problem that I'd be so critical of. Um, Basically asking him if he wanted me to tone it down, and he doesn't. He wants me um, to be myself. And if you scroll through Quigley's Twitter, you can I told you I worked for Dell, right? Michael Dell is a staunch Republican supporter, avid, supported Bush, all of them. But you would never know that unless you went digging into the contributions, like the Republican Party contributions from Texas, to see on the public record who gave what. He's not out. He has never broadcast his political affiliations the way that I've seen people on Wax and EOS do it, like EOS USA with the one QAnon member that has to have EOS USA next to the "where we go one, we go all" hashtag, and posting QAnon posts. Like that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable, and it would be just as unacceptable if it were some leftist anarchists, whatever their group is. I can't remember. What is it again? I forget. Um, so it has nothing to do with that. And where I was going with this is Quigley's Twitter feed is just if you were to scroll through his likes and replies, it's just a never-ending scroll of transphobic hate. Which here's the thing: you're allowed to feel that. You're an American. You're allowed to have those, but you're also the face of a company. There's a certain level of etiquette and social responsibility I feel like that's required for a successful business to continue. Why alienate? Who cares how small of the percentage of your users that is? Why alienate them? Why ever do anything that makes them feel like they're not welcome in your building or in your space? And it just shows you the immaturity and lack of professionalism at the very top and all the way down. I don't know if you have any comment on that.
Me?
Yeah.
I wasn't aware. I saw he was in Amsterdam yesterday, and I wanted to go to
Yeah.
the meet, but my kids had a school, like the yearly school holiday trip to an amusement park, so I couldn't go. So, but yeah, I don't know the dude. I was wanting to go to actually see a lot of people that do stuff on Wax, and because I went to the NFT thing last year, and that was great, a lot of fun. So yeah, I wasn't aware.
Yeah.
But in the end, well, I try not to get too
Yeah, you
involved
probably
in
don't
stuff
want to
like
comment
that.
because yeah. On my bad.
No, No, I don't care. You're asking, but it's like whichever way you go and what you like or don't like, as long as you don't bother other people with it, I don't care. Like I won't get involved, and yeah, I
Right.
won't support. I don't support hate, of course, but and I also don't think it's smart to, as a public person, to do something like that, because
Exactly.
it just draws negative attention either way. But yeah, maybe he's like, well, this is my personal account and I can do what I want. I don't
Hey, Viper, don't take
it's
my
not
word for
smart.
it, though. Go scroll through the likes and replies. It's like the third tab over on the profile, right underneath their, I think, their banner picture. So it's just, it's tweets, and then it's replies, and I think it's likes or something like that. Yeah, I just go look and see what's being retweeted and liked, and I feel like that's where it starts. I know that when I've said critical things of Wax, I know that Sani gets blown up on his text and phone calls by people close to Quigley, and them telling him to, did you see what the F? And like one of them was like arguably one of the funniest things that I've said on Twitter. It was about them being listed on Coinbase, and I said that they'll never be listed on Coinbase, and here's why. Like, they're never going to take a project that had an ICO until the XRP case is settled. Period. They had Wax had an ICO. They're never going to list them ever for that reason alone. And then second is like their background check. Like, if you were in a background check on Wax, like, you're going to find some really like, you wouldn't hire them. And my joke was like, I wouldn't hire them to cut my grass if I were, which needs to be done badly, if I were home to watch them. I would. And then I went on to say, I delivered my punchline, but like, it was definitely said in humor, and I also put in there, like, don't get me wrong, like, I love Wax. I'm not going anywhere, probably ever, until I have to, unfortunately, if that ever happens. But that doesn't mean I have to like how it's run, who's running it, and the things that they do, because they should not have anything to. Yeah, quite honestly with you, they shouldn't have anything to do with each other. Like, Wax, the company, should not have the leverage and the power and the control. And I can give you a good example of how long this has been going on for. Let me share with you, because this person doesn't work for me anymore. But this is a notorious cocksucker by the name of David Kim. Did you know David Kim?
No, never heard the name before.
Yeah. So do you remember? So you remember the MLB drop, right?
Yes, I actually bought a few. That was right around the time that I was pretty new still on Wax.
Yeah. So there was a Funko drop after that, right? And so, dude, I saw. So I personally pulled 2 Grails, and you're talking about the RNG thing, right? So the Grail Funkos were like, they were less than 1%. I think they were like 0.1, and then the legendaries were like 0.5. But both of them were allegedly under 1%. Okay. I pulled 2 Grails out of the pack. I should be ecstatic. That's amazing. Then I saw somebody pull like roughly the same thing. Then I saw somebody pull 3 legendaries out of the pack. And if you remember the problem with MLB, it was that all of the good shit was coming out early, and something was broken, and it shouldn't have gone that way. And so if you go into the official Wax Discord, and like, you can search it. It's the last thing that I've ever said in there. I won't comment in there again. But I questioned them about it, and the response that I got was dismissive. And I said, didn't this also happen with MLB? And I knew that was going to sting when I said it, and that's why I said it. But this is the response that at that time, Recurrier, who was my business partner with Metaforce, was trying to get listed on their like on their homepage, the wallet.wax.io page. And this is the response that he gets. Apparently, Trent had some concerns regarding how the Funko release earlier this week was executed. Unfortunately, instead of reaching out directly to us, which is bullshit, you can't. They have their DM. I did try to do that. Their DMs are all locked down. This guy's concerns. He chose to publicly air it in the Discord channel. Okay, well, so what? You're a public entity. So the fuck what? If you want to be good partners and get marketing support from us, your team members can't be doing this shit. Quote. And it goes on to just make strong arm threats and so this is how Wax had treated has always been. They've always wanted that type of control and leverage, in my opinion.
Yeah, but that's also like the old way of doing things. It's funny, like, do you know Linus Tech Tips, the YouTube channel?
Of course, yeah. Yep.
They've had stuff like that with Asus and some other partners where they were strong arming smaller creators to, in similar ways. Like, you can't be doing that shit and pull that down, and it's just an old way of thinking, but. In the
Right,
new...
so he doesn't work there anymore, but I mean, I can't imagine that. Man, I know that shit rolls downhill, man, and I can't imagine that they're getting a lot of good professional direction from internally. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope that I'm wrong, but I've seen Lucas lose his temper numerous times. I've seen somebody leave Wax because they said that they're not going to be in an environment where the CTO is talking to the public like this. I've seen him called, and maybe you saw this in one of those Telegram channels, but somebody asked a question about why is this some way, and he said, because my staff are fucking idiots, right? Regardless of whether or not it was a joke or not. Can you imagine?
The same with
about my subordinates on like, yo, I'm facing disciplinary action immediately for it. It's so wildly unacceptable.
Yeah, like I think the second time that the RNG went down in a week, like his first responded, okay, people are getting fired now. Like when I said that,
So no, it doesn't. So, but here's the thing that maybe some people that are better at math than I could answer to, but remember there was already a pretty well examined and looked at case. It was the MLP drop prior, right? And so they went in and they did their due diligence and they said this was broken, and that was the consensus that it was broken. So that we are going off of that as well. Here's the thing: yes, the stated poll percentages don't take into account. They should. I would love it if people developed a system where there was like 4 equal pools and the pools were harmony. That each pool doesn't execute until the previous one is exhausted, and each one has the same percentages. So let's say there's four mythics total, and there's 4 pools. Well, there's 1 in each pool, so that means that like one person that opens their packs early will get a mythic, and one person opens them late will get one. Like, I think that would. I don't know why that wouldn't work. That's not how it works. The way that I saw that these highly scarce NFTs were coming out was the equivalent of saying it's not impossible for you to get hit lightning 6 times in a row, like on the tip of your nose. Like, it's not impossible, but I think that like that's the type of probability that or statistics that we're talking about when you're saying that less than 10% of the packs have been opened and 90% of the 0.1% and 0.5% have been taken, something like that, something crazy like that. So maybe those numbers are exaggerated. I don't know. Let's run this grubfish though. I've said enough.
Run the grub.
Kitty, this was a good rant session for me. Poor Nick, man. He probably didn't know.
Yeah, I know, poor fella.
He didn't know he was walking into this.
I know. Some bits I was just like, oh damn, I don't think he was expecting
Kitty's
that.
opinions are not yes, possible and probable are 2 different things. Chucky, I don't disagree with you. More so the point of me sharing was that I brought it to their go look at how I delivered it. Did I go in there acting like an asshole? Like, that's subjective, but I would look at it from the person. I was one of the people who got 2 of the grails. Like I
but you sensed something was off.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said shit. I should have went and bought more packs. All right, here we go. I don't think I even got in on this one. So what wax projects are you in now? Currently.
Not much really. I think the only two things that I still do is click mine in Alien Worlds, just because I have some rare tools and the pools got reset properly. But yeah, that's also a big disillusion for me, because I don't know if you're familiar with the syndicates for Alien Worlds.
No, and why is
the
my land
DAOs.
not earning anymore?
Yeah. There's lots of stuff. Yeah, Alien Worlds, I could talk for another hour, I say probably. But yeah, for the lands, like the daily allocation, they had a system where you could boost. So, okay, there's like a total pool of TLM that gets divvied out, and every land starts at a certain power number. And there are like slots that you can open and daily boost that you can allocate them with various strengths, and they add a percentage power, which means if you keep adding percentages, the number grows, and every time you add the same percentage, it increases over time, so it's an exponential growth at a certain rate. But you need lots of TLM to do that. So one of the biggest landowners that was sitting on a big stack of TLM maxed out a few lands and just kept doing that every day, expanding. So he's keep getting a bigger part of that pool. So every day, the entire part that everybody else gets smaller and smaller, while his gets bigger. But that only works if you can go hard right from the start and invest risk a lot of TLM, like millions. But yeah, he's reaping the rewards from that. So that's why your land allocation is going down.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: how did you do with the listing on Binance? Were you around for that? Do you remember when Alcor was shut down for like 3 days or whatever, and then it came back on, and we were like, "Is this right? Is each one? Is this right?" Like, it was wild.
Yeah, I like I said, I got onto Wax through the Binance listing. So I was like 2 weeks before it went live, I was on Wax. And I think I teleported over like 100 or 200 TLM back then. So it wasn't that big of a deal. And by the time that everything worked, the price had already dropped. So yeah, you can see that land rating here. That's the
so what do I need to do? I got this off the drop, man. I was in that Dutch auction, and I remember the way the Dutch auction works is you can place, like, it starts at really high bids, and then it works its way down, and then like it puts pressure on you to raise your bid, or you have to try to guess where you might have a chance at securing it. And I remember I went to the lowest, which I think was like maybe $20. That's where I had to claim in, but then I saw it move and I was like, yeah, it's not going to make it there. And so I put it in at the next one, which was like $27, that's a lot of money, right? Like back then. And damn it, I only bought one, like a fool.
Yeah, you probably should have sold it a while ago. Because like for the longest time, Alien Worlds land was like the holy grail NFT on Wax. Whatever you do, you can't go wrong buying an Alien Worlds land, right? It held its value. It was an income earner. And what doesn't matter, like the last 2 years, and it changed in the last few months, but if you could, it's like, okay, you can buy one NFT, which one will you get? 9 out of 10 people would have said an Alien Worlds land, probably.
Right. Damn it, I think I lost Crittercraft somehow. Did I lose it? I thought I just drugged this over. Oh yeah, here it is. Nashville Lou and Mount Doomy, of course. He's figured out the cheat code.
Again.
Surprise. All right, so what do should I just sell my land at this point? Or I mean, I probably wouldn't, because that would be silly. I probably won't get much for it. What do I have to do to get it earning? Do I have to unlock this?
But you get like a day. I think if you click on the top right icon, I think there's like a daily allocation that pops down that you can claim. So yeah, there's 2,000 TLM that you can claim right now, and 100 TLM from people that mined on your land. So you have 2,100
Oh,
TLM. So it's
I
like
was going to
500
do
something
it
wax.
myself.
Yeah, it used to be sent automatically, and I also have it like on my Wax Tools site. If you log in there, there's a tab with balances, so you can do that
Okay.
maybe if
I've
you
had
go to
this
the
land the whole time. Yeah.
If you
Look at
go
my
to
commissions.
yeah
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
if you go to my website, the Wax Tools site, don't claim the commission reward. Oh, you already did that. Don't worry. There might be something else for you to claim. So if you open the Wax Tools site, there's a balances tab.
Tools.na.file.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you log in,
Some people do mine still, and I appreciate them. Do I need to log in, or am I already logged in?
Yes. Now you need to be logged in. The color will change in the background, and
all right. Oh, this is so. Should I be logged in with my my alts for my? Because I got labeled as a bot. I was not botting. Like I botted. I'm not going to front. Like I didn't. Like when I first came in, it wasn't frowned upon, and I would destroy the Bitcoin Origins drops because they were like the $500 packs were like a 4x on, like, you know, everybody, like the only people there were botters. So it just, were you better than the next was basically how it was. Just like sneaker drops. But I'm now anti-bot. Anyway, I got labeled a botter on a cloud wallet of all things. I had to move it to another cloud wallet.
if you click on the balances tab, it will show you like from various places if there's something that you can claim. So in here you see like you have Nifty Blocks trading rewards that you can claim, and a vote reward.
What?
Mine TLM. So it all started when I had like the WDNY site. I had a drop there that didn't go through, and I had like 500 or 1,000 wax there. That was just poof, and it was like, yeah, you can claim that back.
Oh, this isn't even like, this isn't even a baller, dude. You know what? I did see this and I forgot about it, and we got to post this up. This is amazing. This is such a contribution to the community, Nick. You should be applauded for this. This should be celebrated.
Yeah, but this is just like something that I did quick, and like it didn't take a lot of effort to put this up.
Right.
It's just something that for me, because I had to go to so many places, so like, okay, I'm pretty sure that there will be other people that won't know that they have stuff ready to claim.
Yeah,
so
everybody, if you have a balance here, Nick, what's your wallet again? You gave it to me. You need to add it in here.
There's a donate button top right.
Boom. What's
it
my
still
balance?
Has Aether in there.
Gross. Hold on a second. Let's go do this really quickly.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah, if y'all have something to claim in here, y'all need to send it to Nick, a percentage of it, because shout out NFTG. The only reason why I'm doing this, just FYI, you know, I'm a taco lover, is the liquidity pool is not the same for TLM. Nice. All right, and where do I donate here? Ew, Aether. You're right. That is gross. You need to link this to the new one, I think.
There's a drop down. You can't even fill something in.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I started to. I built this for like the R Planet thing. That's why it even has the name. I actually built like a system to donate with all various tokens, and I still wanted to build this out to like have other people use that as well on their site. But you don't need to do anything. Just set it to 1 wax or something, and you can show. Because the thing that I really like is that, like the heart, if you donate, it will grow. Just a small, tiny.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the big flex here. I just gotta send some wax over.
There's some funny names in there as well. It's like, I think there's like, I own an island and shit.
Nice. I don't even know my address. I don't think. There we go.
Interesting.
So
I own a small country is actually one, but you can still see, because I haven't updated in so long. There's listings for dual Borvalis land pack and mega rigs pack with the prices in wax there. So yeah. And if you switch to the Aether ones, it actually goes up to like the values of the gun NFT, the prism NFT, the broom NFT, the pipe NFT, the flag NFT, and music and gold and money. So
yeah, you're super clever with it. All right, let's see. Does this work? Send 1,000.
Okay, let me see. XPS
From tgyqw.wham to Yezra. Let me make sure. Thanks for the useful wax too. All right, I'm going to approve it.
And then it does the. So yeah, thanks for that. It's appreciated,
dude. Of course, thank you for everything that you've done for
the
community. Chris has got some. Let's see here. Click on the logo in the top left. It redirects.
Yeah, I made something. The thing is, I make too much stuff, right? And it's a really ugly tool. Let me link you the URL, and I'll explain a bit about it so you can pull it up. There was a game called Expansion, XPS.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember
that. And they had like a bunch of tokens. I think I posted the link in the private chat. So it's like waxtools.nw.ao/crystallize.html. And
is that what Alcie's asking about?
Let's see. Do you have the link to those as your unused token contracts? No, I don't. I don't have that at this time. I think Simple Market actually lets you do that for some things.
I know there's one on Solana that we were sharing not too long ago. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. Wikipedia.
Anders keeps telling me that as well. Like, why don't you have a site that just links everything up? And the truth is, like, most of the stuff that I built is dead now anyway. So, but yeah, this is a system that I made back when Expansion launched. They had all these tokens, and you couldn't trade them on Alcor. You had to pay to open a position, and they didn't want to do that. So I was like, you know what? I'll make something that lets you crystallize any token into an NFT. And if you want the tokens back, you can burn them. And by doing that, you can take your token, build an NFT out of it, and put it on Atomic Hub and trade it there. So instead of having a token listed on Alcor, you can actually just put it into an NFT. And yeah. So yeah, you see here Metal War Mint, Santa for metal for that game. And I have, like, every time there is something where that would be useful, I did that. So you have for XPS Gamer Token, that was the expansion game. And this was just the ugliest proof of concept that I could quickly make to showcase the project. You can use the whole functionality without even using this site. So if you take one of the supported tokens and send it to the right contract, it will mint it to your wallet.
How do you get a supported token?
I have to. The way I set it up is that it's fully, like, the contract never changes, and I can add support by creating a new schema in my NFT collection.
I need you to put NFTV on there. Can you do that?
Sure.
You need the token contract.
Yeah,
this is fucking amazing. Yeah. You're probably going to get a ton of requests for that same thing. So I would suggest a small charge for it, something, man.
Yeah, I even pay off all the RAM because the NFTs that get minted are taken out of my collection RAM. So yeah, it costs nothing, and I won't charge for it either way because.
You need to cover your costs though, dude, and you should be getting.
I'm fine.
This is amazing. People ask me all the time, can you I mean, not all the time, but I've got to ask at least 3 or 4 times, can you back an NFT with something other than wax? And I've always said it would need a customized contract, but I didn't know that Nick had it already published.
Yeah, like the cool thing is like for Limbo, like for Exit Limbo, they had like a game and they use it to drop, because like if you send people some tokens, they won't notice, right? But if you get a new NFT in your wallet, that's pretty cool. So they had like a way to drop some Limbo to people directly in the wallet, and they get some interaction with the project. But yeah, I don't really like the way that the crystallized thing looks. It was really just I sat down for like 2 days and nights and coded it up, because I was like, is this even possible? Because I had like an idea in my head. It's like, I want to do this, but I don't even know if this is all, like, if I can get this fixed and that. And yeah, I just like doing stuff like that. Just I get inspired and then I knock something out.
Yeah, Nick, this is super cool, bro. All right, so I have 44.4 wax to claim from. I love that number. If you notice, that was my fee on my land, also, wherever that went. I navigated it away. NFT balance. I don't know what this is from. Maybe selling something.
Yeah, it could be. What I usually do, I have it like there's a timeout after you claim or execute a transaction. It will auto refresh after a few seconds. What I just do is like click, 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 and make sure that I do it before the next refresh happens. But yeah, it works. I say the vote rewards there. That is from your staked wax. And I actually built something, if you have like an Anchor wallet, to automate that. So what I did was I wrote a tool to basically feed it a smart contract in wax, and then it generates like a bunch of code so that you can easily interact with that contract with your own code in C#. So I did like a small how-to video and code write-up on how to do that. So there's like a small program that you can download that you can set up, and then you just do it in Windows Task Scheduler, and it will renew your vote every day and claim your wax. I think I have that on my YouTube as well. Let me see, nick.yt.
Yeah.
And videos, there's like the purple one, like interacting with the wax blockchain using C#. I think that video has a link in your... you don't have YouTube Premium.
No,
that's like one of the it's one of the best streaming subscriptions you can have, because the ads are so effed up.
Yeah, no, I use the Nick Kusters ad blocker, dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So in the comments for that video, there's like a link to the GitHub repository where you can reproduce all of that. And basically, it's a tool to claim your vote reward every day. And I should probably update it, because mine also spits out like the daily yield and weekly, monthly, yearly. So it extrapolates the current rewards over a year. So like I get, I think, 25K a year.
Yeah.
For my stake. So that's just nice to see. But I can just run a tool once a day, and it will claim my vote and renew it with a proxy to make sure that you get your payout.
Dude, Nick, I'm so happy that we had you here.
Yeah, no worries.
Show us.
Just keep me talking, and you'll find new tools, because I'll.
What else? What else is there?
What other tools do you have there?
No, but seriously, I have that problem. Like, I've made literally tens of thousands of things in my lifetime, and every time I start to talk about stuff, there's like something that clicks, and there's, oh yeah, I built that and that and that and that.
So tell me your history with your coding, your development history. When did you start?
I've always been very technical, and one of the things that's like a bug in my brain is I always need to know how everything works.
Yeah, you were telling me that you don't use NPM packages, and it's just ridiculous, Nick.
Yeah, I need to know how everything works down to the lowest level if possible, and because then I can reason about everything in between, and that's. So I was pretty young, like 7 or 8, and then we got a PC like through a PC at home project from my parents, and I got my own floppy drive, and we had MS DOS, and my mother taught me how to create a text file and how to delete it and how to format my very own disk drive. Diskette, like my 3.5-inch floppy drive, and then I typed C instead of A, and I wiped the PC. So
nice.
Format C, and back then nobody knew how to install an operating system. So like a 4,000 Guilder PC back then went to the attic, never to be seen again, and I was not allowed to touch or see computers for quite a while. So when I was 12, I think like high school started, and we got another computer. And I was told to please don't do that again, and be gentle. And then that's how I got started. This is, by the way, really cool that what you have on screen now. At least I think is really cool. If you want to do contract work on Wax, you have to enable EOS.code permissions. And they always tell you use Kleos, but lots of people might not run Linux and don't have access to Kleos. And you can do this manually on blocks, and it's a really pain in the ass. So I wrote this to just let you log in and just set the permission for you. So that's something that I
amazing. So I don't have to ever run Docker again, because Jaws showed me a way to I was using this convoluted. Well, so I started with EOS Studio, and that I was good at the time because there was only one tutorial I could find on Udemy on setting up a dev environment, and it was the Docker image that he finally found in the comments that the particular Docker image that they pointed you to was broken, and you had to do like this one instead. But it was I think the CMake and the make. You would get the CMake done, but then not the make. They'd throw all kinds of errors. And my dear friend Hattie, done some dev work, pointed me to EOS.code, which was immediately easier because you had this a little button or whatever to build everything, and that worked. But then he told me that it was time for me to take off the training wheels and learn how to do it through VS Code, which I did. I did learn how to do it that way, still using Docker though. And then Jaws was like, yeah, you don't need any of that shit. You do it this way. And that's the way I've been doing it ever since. It does use WSL, which I've noticed screws up the HMR. It won't if I run WSL,
Windows subsystem for Linux, which basically lets you run Ubuntu on your Windows machine for the people that don't know.
Yeah, you got it. This is definite nerd stuff. I try not to. I always have to restart if I do something.
I like the idea of EOS Studio.
Awesome.
The only thing that I really dislike is that when you enter a private key, it will automatically upload it to their server, and then you can remove it from there. That just gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't like that. So what I do is I still code in EOS Studio, but then I manually build and upload it. I actually wrote a tool for myself, go figure, that uploads contracts to the chain without having to do anything. So, yeah. Did I lose both of you right now?
No.
This is my show now.
I made the mistake of going and finding I Make Stupid Games, who is the project founder of Pixiegon. If you're familiar with it, he's like, I want in, and he thought like that was a joke, but I literally just dropped him an invite link. So if he really wants in, he'll come on in.
Sure, the more the merrier.
Then I saw that Alcy had sent me a bunch of messages, and like I made the mistake of starting to it's going to eat at me that I didn't read all of them, but it's okay because I'm going to show you the respect that you deserve. Be present for this. I just wanted to drop that link to Mr. Anders.
Yeah, no worries. So back to how I started with programming. I was 12 years old, and I got my PC, and there was like a computer magazine that I used to buy in stores, and it's like the last page is like, did you know that on your Windows 95 CD there's a thing called PowerPack, which has a programming language called QBasic that lets you write your own code and do stuff. And I was like, interesting. So I went on the internet and downloaded hundreds of pages of manuals about how this stuff works. I installed QBasic, and I made like scrolling text run on the screen in color, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I built a version that lets you had to put like 3 keys, a combo of 3 keys to interrupt it. And then I took it to school and set it as a startup instead of the operating system, so it would launch that at the first start instead of the graphical user interface, which basically proclaimed my discontent with one of the teachers there. And it
Did you get in trouble for it?
I fixed it after, and then it was okay. So yeah, there was like, we can't prove who did this, but Nick, if you want to fix this, there won't be any.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
so like the day after, it was magically fixed, and we never talked about it again. So yeah. But that was just it was really simple, because if they were only basically technically inclined, they could have fixed that, I think. But yeah, it was it showed me a kind of power. The absolute power corrupts, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, but that really, it showed to me like there's so much that you can do, and the more that I'm a Dutchie. Oi, oi. The more I got into programming, it was like, okay, basically, if you can think it, you can build it, and you can solve so many issues for yourself. That's just that's really nice, and that got me hooked into programming. So when I was 12, I discovered, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life, and I was really grateful for that, because pretty early on, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Well, I still meet people that are in their 40s and still don't know what they want to do. So it gave me a purpose. I
finally figured it out. It only took me 43 years.
Yeah.
42, something like that. Yeah. Like
it doesn't matter if you don't know what you want to do with your life, but for me, it helped, because it's just one less thing to worry about, you know.
My man Anders is in the house.
Hey, Anders.
Hey, that's the third Anders that I've encountered now.
Yeah.
Because there's any observation. There's he ran for OIG last time, and you nominated him. Damn it, I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
He's also called Anders.
He's running again, I think. Right?
Danish crypto. Yeah.
Yeah. There are many Anders.
And now we have dude from
Anders,
aka Anders. Yeah.
I'm the Norwegian Anders. Those are Swedes and Danish.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we were just talking about code beginnings, man, and I showed somebody mine. In fact, it was OP who was talking about getting into it. So here's some advice that maybe y'all would have a different viewpoint on. But OP was talking about doing a boot camp. So I did a boot camp at the University of Texas, and it was like 6 months long. It was $10,000, which it was not worth that at all. But Dell paid for half of it, so like it was only $5,000 out of pocket, which that's still, I think, kind of debatable. It was worth that. It was worth that because it put me into a routine. It put me into a forced learning environment. It made me go to a place and do a thing until it was done, and on a cadence and a schedule. And not gonna lie, it was pretty dope walking onto the UT campus and not being drug off by campus police or getting kicked out of a dorm or whatever. Like, I'm supposed to be here. What? Like, but they tend to run super expensive, right? These in-person coding boot camps. And I feel like the wealth of information that's out there as a self-taught developer, I guess you can't really say that if I went to a coding boot camp, but
you moved on after that and did a lot of self-teaching, right?
Oh yeah, like I've learned more in the last 6 months, and honestly, I've learned more in the last few weeks just talking to people like Jaws and other developers than I've had like total. Like doing it on your own in like a little bubble and that's not good, man. It's just not. You need eyes on your work. You need life experiences telling you why you shouldn't do something, and different opinions and all of that. So what advice would you give to a person wanting to develop in today's world, specifically on Web3? And Anders, you go first.
Just do it. Just get started, and then play test, and just let people shit all over your work, and learn to take that. Just trial by fire. That's the best way.
Trial by fire.
Yeah.
Okay. Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm a bit difficult in that regard, because programming is a very complex and broad topic, and to master it takes so much time. So like
10,000 hours.
yeah, and I don't even know if that cuts it, because
Yeah.
depending on to what you restrict yourself to, you can have like 40 times that, depending on how broad you want to go and how much you want to learn. And like programming, there are so many layers to this thing, because there are people that really have no background, do a 2-week boot
Right.
camp, and then they can code. But that's also the same,
Yes.
like teaching a monkey a trick, right? Because once something is a little bit out of what they've been taught, they're totally lost, and they can't do it anymore. So like if you want to actually learn how to code and do it the proper way, it takes so much time and effort. And basically what I see is like that trait that I have, that I just need to know how everything works, no matter what. If I'm interested in it,
probably learn things so much deeper than the way I learn things. Like I learn it on the surface with no idea of how like it's getting to that point.
And everything has its own merits. And if you like, I don't care about all of that, this is my area and this is what I want to be good at, and I'll study up to that, that's also fine. But yeah, I just noticed, like from all the people that I've encountered over the years, it's always the people that have that same inquisitive, like I need to know how everything works. That those are the people that go the furthest in programming, because they don't stop at any roadblock and they just keep powering through everything until they know everything. And that's really something that you need. So what I always tell to people that get started is find something that you're passionate about, fix a problem for yourself, because that's probably the only way to stay motivated to actually overcome all the stuff that will be thrown at you. So if you're just following tutorials or trying to please somebody else, the odds of you actually sticking with it or making it or getting good are slim. So try to find something that you're passionate about and that you can solve for yourself.
Agreed. That's just general life and work-life balance advice, I think, man. If you the day you can find the thing that you love to do and get paid for it is like that's the pinnacle. That's where we should all be trying to reach.
Anders, I don't want to like discourage people from starting to program, because like I said, it's like having a superpower, really. It's so
dude
awesome.
It so is, man. It so is. Yeah, dude, you get paid in unconditional love, and you get little workers once they're old enough, and you get paid for it. Don't front.
You have little minions.
Yeah.
That's actually such a proud moment when one of, like, I have 2 daughters, 7 and 9, and I would love if they would like, Dad, I want to be programming and teach me. But I also know that if I force them, it won't work. It needs to be their own interest. So I can want it as much as I want.
Exactly.
If they don't want it out of themselves, it will never work. So
right.
There's this site called Code Combat, and that lets you playfully learn how to code. So it's like a web-based game, and you have to do instructions and step by step. And I showed them that. It's like, is this maybe something that you're interested in? And they really liked that. I was like, yes, okay, that's a first step. That's a small little win.
Let me show y'all my journey, where it started.
Scratch,
yeah, dude. Back in so I was in. This is how the conversation with OP started, because I went to research what boot camp he was going to go into, and it was edX. And I was like, I know edX. In fact, I have an edX. Yeah, I went to the wrong site. Oh, it's going to send me to a porn site or something. Yeah, if I log in here, which I think I am, you can see, I believe that, yeah, so I was in the inaugural Intro to CS Harvard X CS50 course that was offered online for free. But like everything in my educational background, I did not complete it, which I deeply regret, because this would be such a huge flex being that in the inaugural class. But one of the things that they introduced to us was this thing called Scratch, which if you take a look at, so I made this game, I made this little cat run around and have to set these let's see if it'll show it here. Shit, it's not gonna do it. Anyway, it's puzzle pieces that turns like yeah.
I've got to go make the kids some breakfast.
Okay, Kitty, I'm
It's 7:20 here, and they're getting up.
You're here, and I'm sorry that I overtalked this one so
I
much.
don't care. It's all right. I'm hungry. I'm going to get hangry soon, and my kids are up. So,
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks for being
I'll
here.
listen in still. So,
Yeah, excellent. All right,
thank you, Nick, and thank you, Anders.
No worries.
excellent, awesome.
See you around.
Enjoy
this is
the
something
breakfast.
that I would suggest to maybe this helped me understand like the core concepts of like event loops and functions and whatnot. And it's they make a kids version, I think, called
Yes, Scratch is actually for they use it to teach kids.
yeah. So
That
there's
is actually Scratch. Yeah.
yep, Tinker is
It's
the
great.
one called it. So I would, if you have kids, get them into AI, get them into this shit, because this is the future for them.
There's actually a fun game called HRM, or Human Resource Machine. If you Google that one, it's on Android and iOS, and I think on Steam as well. And that's
What?
also like if you know Scratch, you can do that game. It's a lot of fun. Human Resource Machine. Yep, that's the
Sent you
one.
one
Our
of my
corporation.
But
What?
that's a really fun game. So you might want to try that one out.
Is it on
it's,
Steam? How do I get it?
It's on Steam, it's on iOS, it's on Android. I played it on my phone. And it's actually it's pretty cool, because you have like this set of instructions, and you visually code those steps, and you can drag them around and set endpoints and add registers, and it gets really complex. And the
Is this
thing
something
is,
that can be played on stream, do you think?
yeah, sure. Yeah, it will be fun, because you can get ask people for input and help. And the thing is, like in the later levels, people actually complete for the cleanest solutions or the shortest solutions. But it takes sometimes like a few minutes to run, because they're so big and complex. So what I did was, there was like a site that posted them, and I actually wrote my own interpreter and own semi-code, so that I wrote like my own virtual machine to run HRM code, so that I could test them out and see if it worked. And so that's fun. That's also something that I do. Like I have that game, and then I'm intrigued, and then I just build something. So
Have you ever seen this game here that I have up here? Anders, what am I looking at here?
If you're meaning Kuma's Fruit Field, that's the game we made. I also sent you one of my first games, but don't watch that, because people will find out.
Don't watch this.
Oh, you can.
Oh, don't watch what you're going to send me. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You can if
Okay.
you want.
Yeah. So I think the TLDR on what Pixiegon is, which I love it. I want to go a very similar route in what I'm building. Essentially, he's taking. You mentioned floppy disks earlier, and I think that NFTs have a lot of similarities to those old school floppy disks, and can be used in a similar manner, except obviously do a lot more. And a project on Solana, I think it's Coral Community, it's the name of it, has developed a product called Backpack, which y'all may have heard of. And they're building an entire mobile OS that will, they pioneered according to them, the term X NFT, where the X stands for executable. I feel like it's a natural progression. A lot of the things that that we were thinking were good use cases are going to start coming to fruition. I just found out like yesterday, or the day before, from Sam. I guess he was out shopping with his girlfriend, and he's like, "Yo, have you ever heard of Aura blockchain?" And I said, "No." And apparently, they've been issuing certificates of authenticity on luxury brands for like well over a year. He said that he checked a pair of Cartier glasses that he bought like last year, and it came with an NFT COA. And like he said he would have never even realized it had he not looked at the sticker or the tag that was on like the pair of pants or whatever that he was buying. And it's a big deal. Like they've got some big money. It's like JP Morgan and Mercedes-Benz is about to move in, and they're using NFTs in a way that they're designed to, and they did it quietly. Like I think that's a big part of mass adoption, that people are overlooking the importance of. Like who cares about the underlying tech? The end user probably doesn't. Very small percentage of people who care how the thing works, like the way that you are. No offense. Most people are stupid and lazy, and they just want to the thing to do what it does the easiest way possible or whatever. And so this is kind of what Pixiegon has done. They've taken NFTs and turned them into like game cartridges. Is that a good description, Anders?
Yeah, pretty much. Because the cool thing is you can't do this on Steam, because what you can do is you can restore the game and do a lot more stuff with it. And just if you want your friend to just try the game, you can just lend it to them. Just give them the NFT for an hour and they can try the game. So yeah, I think NFTs as cartridges.
Is it all WebGL?
Yeah, it's made in Unity, and it's kind of one big common console that I'm constantly improving. So we're working on the third game for it now, and we're all the time doing improvements to the virtual OS, if you want to call it that. That's what you're looking at right there now.
Actually, before I immersed myself into crypto, I was very much into the indie game dev community. It's like
hell yeah.
It's like Jonas Tyroller, Thin Matrix, Danny. I don't know if you know any of them, but yeah, I was all over.
Did y'all know each other before this stream, Anders or Nick?
No.
I know of, but I haven't.
Oh, dude. Oh shit, man. Yeah, man. Here, let me post up so there's never, ever, ever, ever a reason to go into Telegram except this one instance. It's to go to Nick's Techdom. I highly suggest it for any developer, because he's always there's just it's a collection of. To be honest with you, I don't think I've interacted with anybody but you in there, but it doesn't matter because you instantly reply and engage and provide feedback, and I appreciate that you don't say looks great and that's it. Like that's the worst kind of feedback ever.
I'm really curious because I thought that you were about to play a game. I actually made I made a few games, but I made one game that I'm really curious to see you play. Actually, if you want that and have like 10 minutes, I dropped the link in the chat. I built that a long time ago, and there's still plans to elaborate on that and polish it more. But it's like a game that uses the power of deduction and reasoning, and it's based off of
back in the day.
Yeah, it's based off of a card game, and I really like the concept, and I built it out in a Unity game. So
what? You're a Unity dev too, Nick. You've got more surprises than.
This one is very unpolished. I have to say that it doesn't even have a quit. So once you want to exit, you have to Alt F4 out of it because I didn't even add that button in this build. Really, it's. I famously said, "Well, I'll add multiplayer next weekend," and yeah,
That was
I
when
implemented gRPC, and then I rewrote the entire stack into a WebSocket bidirectional thing, and yeah, it's funny, but yeah,
I messed with gRPC for about 10 minutes. Then I said, yeah, this is way above what
it's
I
cool.
should do.
It's cool. Like it's very like the protobuf stuff. It's very compact and efficient.
All right, I'm gonna
But
run
once
this route, and then we're gonna play your game. So
Okay.
if you're not in exclamation play, get in there, and we're gonna check this out. And yeah, we'll give you some critique. Why? I guess it's not it's an obvious question. Why did you stop? Just get distracted. Probably like me, man. I have shiny ball syndrome, like bad,
yeah,
real bad.
yeah. But it's also something that doesn't come easy to me. Like game development, it requires programming, but it requires so much more creative skills. And I'm not a great designer. I can get stuff pretty if I put a lot of time in it, but it's not something that comes easy to me. But I really like it. So this first version, it took a lot of effort, but I had so much fun making it. I have a non-finished rework that's so much cooler. That's so much cool stuff, but I never finished it because I just got so little time, and I have to really decide what I spend my time on, and it's a struggle every time because for every hour that I can spend on stuff, I have like 5 million things that I want to do. So it's always a struggle to see what I can do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, somebody mentioned mining network. I also have.
Gross. That was one that I am from the get-go. When I saw that there were 700,000 NFTs minted on day 2, I said, "This is not good for the community. This is bad. This is a Ponzi scheme. This is wash trading. This is fraudulent." And I'm glad that I had that instant then, because even though I could have made a pile of money, that's never been my motivation. I mean, I made a pile of money, so it might be easy for me to say that, but it's not my current motivation to do anything in Web3. Right now it's to fix what we broke, and to the ultimate motivation is to leave something of substance behind for my children. They don't have to be forced to conform to what society says is success, right? Whether that be college. Like I'm all for education. I hate colleges and universities in the US. They're like one of the most corrupt organizations that there are. All right, let's get this going here. All right. Anders, when did you start coding, man?
I think I was 12 when I got into Flash. But my thing has always been game design more than coding. I learned coding to do game design. So I started making games when I started writing stories when I was 5, 6. I made my first book in first grade. And then I started making card games and stuff. And after having played a lot of Zelda as a kid, I really wanted to, that's what I wanted to do. So I started programming because of that. And then I made several very stupid Flash thingies that were like stupid demos. And then I looked at C++ a little bit. I think I got in with the wrong foot with that. And then after that, I was just full on into C# because it let me do more game development stuff along with coding.
So this game that you sent me, you said don't show it or do show it?
You can show it if you want.
To both of y'all, both sent me a game.
Yeah.
You said I could do it if I wanted to, Anders?
Sure.
It's just it looks like it's a demo, right?
Yeah, you kill Tingle. That's it. But it was like when I was very young still. And one of the first like true demos. And if people follow some links there, they can find the dirty, ugly stuff I made as well. which is terrible.
Oh, did this actually launch it, or is this a video?
It should launch it, but you might need the Newgrounds player. Yeah, you have to get the Newgrounds player. Get it here, right below there.
Oh, all right, gotcha. Okay. Let me grab next.
Actually, a quick like Easter egg thing. If you can click the mining network link that I sent to you,
Ugh.
it's fun. I want to geek out over it a bit. I think you might like that too. I don't know if I showed it to you.
Because it's
before.
an Easter egg. I dig Easter eggs. All right.
Yeah.
So
because like the way this is set up, like the scrolling background, I draw this in Canvas, and it's like it's all semi-transparent layers over each other. So it's extremely efficient, even though it looks pretty impressive. And like I limited the characters that I use to just my name and zeros and ones in a certain ratio, and there's all sorts of fun stuff in here. That. So if you try to open the developer tools, can you do that? Like F12?
Yeah, I think you showed me this. Yeah, you have a bunch of cool, colorful stuff in here, right? Yeah. You got to show me how to do that. And you were like, "Oh, I did that on my own." Like I've seen this. Have you ever seen like Discords? If you go into Discords, it's like if you were someone's telling you to go here, it's 11 out of 10 a scam. And
but if you close this and actually. Like the normal way people use a developer tools is they hit like F12. No, don't do that.
Okay, that's the way I do it. F12. Yeah. Oh, you Rick roll them.
Yeah, so I hijack like the F1 key and the F12 key, but also like in the bottom right, it has my wallet. So and only if it scrolls down there, it will highlight that, and if you mouse over on that, it will do that. So I just had a lot of fun just putting this as a proof of concept, and it's not more than this. I had all sorts of ideas, but then mining network fizzled out, and I was like, but this is still a fun little.
I was thinking of doing something very similar with the F12 key, except mine would play this song here. I don't know. I think it's a good idea. Like just play some NWA with an F12 key. Yeah. Giggle. All right. What else?
You can close this. That was just fun.
All right. So this is the who done it here. I don't think I awarded the did I goldfish on the grubby winners? Nicotronic, and who was our killer? Wiga. What? Wiga, you can just take a ticket. You know what to do. You can handle your own. And I think I sent one to Nico. I guess I can check. One who cares, right? Shout out to Nico. All right, let's take a look at this whodunit, and we'll run one more grubfish and try to squeeze in as much as we can. I definitely need to get back to work. We're running behind on a project, and Jaws is going to kill me. So one more here. All right, let's see.
So you can download it. You don't have to pay anything, by the way. You just click download. Let's see. There's an option. No thanks. Just take me to the downloads on top. No, don't.
It's too late. It's already did it. I'm committed at this point.
But there's no need.
It's a business expense. Did you see that?
That's not why I asked you to do this. It's but
I know
thanks.
I know it wasn't. And if you know me, that you know I wasn't going to listen to you. But I'm not to do it. So, all right. Is it downloaded?
Yep. It's not a big game.
I got two things to install now.
It doesn't require the installer. It will just. It's just a Unity game.
Just extract it. Okay.
Yep. And normally I would advise you to never run an executable by some strange.
No, man. And you know what? I got to say that anybody who's ever delivered, and I got one from, I got two of them recently. What did I get one for? So I got one for the Versus network. It's a blockchain. Like their installer popped up the windows, like, you know, is this safe to run? And then it was something like unexpected. Like I think it was, God, what was it? Like something that should have been signed and by Microsoft and it wasn't. And I was very disappointed because that is not something that you should be training or showing or encouraging people to do. It's a terrible behavior. If it says don't run it, do not run it. Like that's what, you know.
So it's the whodunit in this case.
Yeah, I got stuck. All right, this one here.
Yep.
Right.
It comes with its own jazzy music, but
yeah, I gotta switch my screen here.
Oh, I think you have it running twice.
Yeah. Do you hear it twice, or is it? Yeah, let me hold on 1 second. Here. Yeah, can you also hear that?
It's pretty loud too. Sorry.
Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you.
I can't hear you.
But I think your PC isn't liking this at all.
Yeah, it's super loud.
Have you done? You broke it.
Yeah. So about applications that automatically launch audio, I despise them, especially web. Like, dude, if your website plays audio,
yeah, I know. I actually had a client that really demanded that it would do that. It's like, why? But yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's like an assault. And if a website is set to light mode by default, I think that the website owner should be charged with assault because it's like it hurts my eyes and it's painful.
Did you see my I like to swallow.com?
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. I think that I was using some copy paste Tailwind, and I might have pasted that exact check the user default thing. All right, hold on a second. I gotta move this over here and then stop this screen and maybe try to launch this again.
If it doesn't work, it's okay. I'll do that.
How do I disable the audio? Is there a way? I guess
No.
I just turn it down.
Yeah, in the Windows Mixer. Sorry, very unpolished indie game. Sorry, but like seeing people play it, it's just so much fun because I try to not tell them anything or just give them the basics and just see them figure it out. It's so cool. Some people just want to know nothing, and just seeing them figure it out on their own is. You'll have to tell me if you want like the basic rundown of how it works, or if you want to figure it out yourself.
You learn the most by watching people figure it out.
There we go. Now I got it.
It will break your heart. This way.
All right, sweet. All right, there it is. That should be it. I close this mixer up, right?
Yes. I'm so curious.
All right. I don't know.
So this was also me like testing, like the localization, like a very pre-alpha localization package in Unity.
Yeah, nobody uses the British flag for English. It's totally the American flag. They don't.
And
that's not even English that they speak. It's like some weird dialect.
And it's also, I think, like there's something wrong with this flag. I remember something about that, but yeah, I'll need to change that.
All right, but I'm gonna go ahead and pick that one.
Yes.
Oh damn. All right, single player.
Yes. Okay.
Beautiful animations.
This guy don't look innocent. He's brandishing a weapon.
So I think I need to tell you a bit about the basics, and then I'll let you figure it out on your own. Basically, you're looking for the one who did it, right? There are 4 types of people, there are 4 colors of shirts, and there are 4 weapons. And basically, so everything has 3 traits. This one is a zombie wearing green with a gun. If one or more of the traits match the person that you're looking for, you will be a suspect. Otherwise, you will be innocent, meaning that none of the traits match. You will never find the person that you're looking for, so you will just get hints either way. And the idea is to use the least amount of hints to figure out who we are looking for. And that's basically it. And it's a lot more complex than you think once you start playing. But it's I have lots of fun whenever I play this.
Okay, so I need to find more suspects here, right?
Yep, you'll need to get more hints so that you can actually figure out. Okay, so now you know actually a lot already because you've eliminated half of the people, half of the colors, and half of the weapons already. So those are two very informative ones.
Because it's a brown person, they're suspicious. This game's racist, dude.
Doesn't have to be. There is another option. But you can also deduce that it's like, I'll help you with this one, right? We know that the robot was innocent. So we know that the person that we're looking for is not red, yet she is up there. So it's either the fact that it's a woman or that it's using poison that makes them suspect, or both. You don't know that, right? So yeah, I'll
so
shut
it's
up
the
now.
poison in female. Yeah, that's how they. That's
either
how
or both.
Put antifreeze and shit in your Kool-Aid. I've seen it. I've seen all the forensic files. All right, so he's got a bat. Yeah, he's innocent. Blue.
So actually, you can know one thing for sure right now. Do you know what?
Is that it wasn't a bat?
No, you know something that is what you're looking for, based on this information. You can tell something based off of only this information that you know is true.
Oh, the other color.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you look. So then you also know. Yeah, you can keep going now.
And so, do I run out of innocence eventually, or does it keep scrolling to the right?
It will keep going, and yeah. In the new way, I have like a mugshot book, and there's a whole mugshot that slowly reveals as a sketch artist draw it in the version that I haven't finished. But yeah, and that also gives you more info on screen.
All right, so it's yellow poison is who I'm looking for.
Yep.
That ain't it. That can't be it, right? Or could it be it?
Nope, because the person you're looking for will never be on screen.
Oh.
But you still. I think you have the information.
Then how do I accuse them if they're never on screen?
But because you can, there's the j'accuse button on the right where you can fill in the information. So if you know who it is, with what weapon and what color, you can fill it in right now. And I think
if I click this, can I click out of it? Or is it irreversible? Like,
there's no way back. But I think you have enough information.
What do you think, Anders? Do we know who did it?
Yeah, poison, yellow shirt, and girl.
Exactly.
All right. So dark, this person?
Yep.
Yeah, right. And this person. And this person.
Boom! You put the right person behind bars.
Unbelievably racist game you had here. That was pretty awesome.
People figured that out.
So now, where did you? Oh, look at that! Almost 420. Also, look at
that.
Yeah. Or 444. Damn it.
Just so that you know, the rating here is total bullshit. It's just a random number. I actually, this was the first proof of concept. I actually built a solver that lets you calculate back how far it is. So in the new version that I have, it actually gives you a proper score. But yeah, that's just how I did it.
And so how 2028?
Yep.
You said I had to do it that way.
Yep. Kill it.
Oh, don't look at my desktop. Don't look at my desktop.
Whoa. Get about it.
Dude, it's just a mess, dude. Yo, like that's only like I shit you not. I cleaned it up completely again, like less than a week ago, and those are all new repos that have been made. It's insane. I tried to back up my data, and I have so many node modules folders inside of folders, like it's insane, dude.
Why do you
It's
put your repos on the desktop?
because just me either pulling down like templates or samples and then extracting them and running them. I don't know, dude. I ask Jaws about it. I have terrible Git practices. They're like, I'm surprised I'm
judging
even
you.
allowed on the site. Yeah, like I should expect like one day to log in and it just like shut down on me and say that you've been.
I'm going to hack you now and just remove everything. Just for that. Put your Git
Yeah.
repos in a folder on a dedicated SSD.
Yeah, man. All right, let's run one more of this and yeah, Anders.
I have to run off.
Okay, dude. Hey, thanks for popping in, man. Go ahead and plug your brand one more time. Let me throw it back up on screen.
Go play Pixagon. We will soon release the third game, which is like a big, massive Pokemon RPG thingy. And we will do packs of creatures, and it's going to be awesome. And we are going pretty crazy with this. This is getting really big, really, really fast, and it will release in a month or two, depending on how crazy I allow us to get.
Right.
but the
And we
game
still
is
need our
going to be
faceplate that you should. I should have done a long time ago. Maybe you can schedule a couple of streams with Kitty, because I know
Sure.
she plays. And she's a huge fan. Not that I'm not. I tend to be busy with other shit. But I will be there for Pixagon streams, and get Kuma's on with us too, and let's do it up, man.
I sent
Let's
you.
go all out. You know that.
I sent you a sneak peek now of the entire map of the game
Am I allowed to share it?
on your Discord.
Yeah, am I allowed to share it with the community?
Sure. Here, we can have a copy one as well. So that's just zoomed out. So it's the same size as like Pokemon Red and stuff. And this isn't the complete map. This is what we have right now. After
So this is the Pixagon world
maybe
map.
this is Anima.
Ah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's 1 month of work. So hopefully double or quadruple it in the next month. And there's tons of dungeons and shit.
Interesting.
And there will be full screen mode. I already made it, so it's in the testing server. You can test with full screen mode on the micro. You can also rotate it around and have it like skewed while you play. The map is very based on Link's Awakening and Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. So yeah. Yeah.
A map looks a lot of Zelda on this. Yay. Yeah, we got big fans. All right, dude. Yeah, you got my DM. I got yours. You should have our calendar. Just go through Kitty. She's in charge of all of that now. So
I'll do that.
but yeah, dude, get something. And even if we can maybe even plan something that might even be recurrent, I think that'd be dope also. If she were down for that. I don't think I could commit to everyone, but if she were down, dude, I would 100% support that. Gold wants to know if you can test.
You can send me a message on
Nice.
Discord or I almost said Slack, Telegram or Twitter or whatever.
Black.
My name is the same everywhere. Wherever I mix the big games is. That's my name everywhere. Yeah. Goodbye. Nice meeting you, Nick. Finally.
Yeah, dude. Join that Telegram up, man. I'll ping you in. Yeah. All right, brother. Be good. Thanks for joining us.
Peace out, dudes.
All right, Nick, this was awesome, man. Thank you so much for joining us. This was
no worries.
way more than I expected. Super fun. and I got to rant a little bit, and that feels good because like now I feel like I've let something off of my like a load that I was bearing because it's been really frustrating me that it's election time again, and I have all these frustrations going about it. But
I have something that might help a bit with that. I dropped you a link to like the video chat that I had with BD, and we
yeah,
talked a lot about some OIG stuff. And I don't know if you had time to watch it yet.
I did not.
Okay.
Unfortunately I did not. And then
There's like
yeah,
a
well,
good
that's how you
hour.
gotta. Yeah,
Yeah, there's like a good hour of talking about the OIG stuff, and I think there might be some stuff still in there for you. So I would
right.
recommend to listen to that later, maybe. There's I
Yeah,
dropped the timestamp from when we started talking. It's like 15, 16 minutes
Alcy,
in.
what give me just a quick summary because it's driving me nuts every time I go to Discord. That's where I make stupid with giving me links, and like I see that it went from 4 to 5 messages, and I gotta look, well, then I can't read it. What's the crux of what you're sending me?
Here's
It's
the
not about.
timestamps.
It's about the BD, or is it about the
No,
Wednesday,
no.
or is it about this? Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's not about BD. Okay, all right.
Oh,
Yeah,
it cut off a
interesting.
bunch of stuff. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, all good. It's going to be, it's definitely going to be something that I'm going to continue to keep out in front. And I know that you don't like negativity, and I do apologize for putting you in any kind of uncomfortable position. I know that my opinions aren't yours, and in fact, I have a disclaimer that says they're not even the opinions of NFTG because Sani doesn't necessarily always agree with me. He usually does, but not always.
Yeah, no worries. In
Also,
the end, I still had a lot of fun today, and
yeah, hell yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, dude,
don't
hell
worry
yeah.
about it. No need to
Yeah,
apologize
we
for
saw
anything.
some cool tools, man. Which again, if y'all missed that at the beginning, you need to get this in your life.
Yeah, I suck at marketing and stuff like that. I really need to put it all together and package it
Yeah,
nicely, like because as you notice, if you just keep talking to me, new stuff will just keep popping up. It's
Yeah,
true,
so
but I did too much.
I would love for Nostalgeek and y'all to get together, and him instead of suggesting that another person do it like with this, because he's got a nice curated list. It just isn't 100% comprehensive. I bet you two of y'all could go pretty crazy with it and get it about as comprehensive and relevant as possible. And if you need helpers, run Grub, sir. Okay, all right, yes sir. Yes sir. All right, go. I don't think I'm even in on this one. Let's see. What do you think of this Atomic Hub thing next week?
What I'm
So they're doing like a wax tournament
okay.
of
So a
games.
bit like the NFT Quest thing, or what?
Well, no. So it's more, I believe. So it's a community. It's like an e-gaming type of setup, the way I understand it. I don't know. I know that was what Sandy and I wanted to do with NFTGamerTV, and who knows, maybe that seeing somebody else do it poorly, or somebody who I didn't even get into Atomic Hub, man. You don't even want me to start on them. I can go on for hours of all of the injustice and wrongdoings that I've seen there, but maybe that'll motivate that part of the business to move into hosting something similar. They're doing all wax games, and a lot of them are very close to us, like Taco and Warsaken and Crittercraft. And and Gaz, it's funny, Gaz knows my opinions, and so Kitty will be representing NFTG at the event, because he's right. I would not have done it, but glad that I have that yin to my yang.
It's good to have balance like that.
Yeah.
I must say that I have I think I saw something on Twitter, but it didn't really excite me much. I didn't even look further into it. So,
like
but
Warsaken is a fun game to play. Have you played that?
I had an interview with the people from Warsaken before they launched, and I was really interested in that, but I haven't played it yet. I bought their stuff, and I had a really nice talk with them, but I haven't followed up. I claimed loot, I think, like once. It's just there's always so much going on in my life that
Right. Well,
yeah.
I would say if you're able to join a Warsaken Wednesday, or I mean, there's a ton of streamers. I mean, we'll run one more grub, and that's it, because I was not in on that last one, and I want to blow y'all up.
Like, this is my Warsaken.
I can get you. I can make sure that you got a deck and that we can play, and it's just like any, I guess, card game that's kind of like at Magic the Gathering, or I don't know.
I'm really excited to actually try it, because, like I said, I talked to them in December 2021, and it was a really nice chat, and it was promising, but it wasn't ready back then. I have a bunch of NFTs actually from them.
Right, yeah. Like I was wearing the hoodie, and I'm wearing a Warsaken hat.
Nice.
Brandon and Coleman are just solid dudes. Like there's only so many projects that I'll co-sign for, or at least co-sign early. Taco was one, Warsaken was another, Farming Tales and Lycos, undoubtedly NFT Battle Miners and Vedmac and I stuck at 6 p.m. Like I posted a bunch of avatars, like all of those people, like I like 100% co-sign for it, because I believe in them, and I know what they're here for, and I know that they're going to do the right. They're here to do the right thing. Tourist Station more recently, 6-Bit Glitch and Rob and them, amazing, and also Terraformers with Kaz, are just like, those are the ones that, like, I firmly believe, like, it doesn't matter what market conditions are like, they're gonna just keep building. They're gonna keep
that's
building,
good.
no matter.
They do it for the right reasons, then. Because I had a talk with him, and he was talking about how he played the game. He tested it with his son, etc., and it was just really
so the
nice.
name bid progress, Chris, is the most. So this is how it came into it came to fruition. So Wax gathered the world's best and brightest, so like geniuses, the smartest people and the most clever, and the directive was, we need an auction and bidding process that technically works, but it has to be overwhelmingly frustrating. It cannot scale. Like, it cannot scale. It's not allowed to. And it has to have trolling too. You have to be able to troll somebody. And then this is what they came up with, and they gave us this piece of shit named bid process, where yes, you can see when, so one clears every day, and only one per day, and you can see down to the second when it clears. So if you wanted to, you could cockblock somebody in the very last second, and then that causes them to not get their name bid, their domain. And I've had it happen, and I've done it back to people who've done it to me, and it's just stupid for that reason. The fact that I would bet anything that less than 200 are cleared per year is another like, dude, come on, man, what are y'all doing? You can only get 200 custom names a year in this system. Like, how does that scale out? Right, like that's ridiculous. I would say on average, because I know that they're just simply aren't clearing every day. In fact, if Wax gets into a bidding war with somebody, I've seen it go weeks. You know, no, only whoever's at the top, and somebody, and it doesn't matter if it's the same bid or not. It's only who's at the top. And if you wanted to leapfrog, like, let's say, I think that if it's the same name, it has to be a 10% increase. But if it's not the same name, You can literally leapfrog somebody for I think one wax, and you could do it in the last second, and that's just inherently stupid. I'm not 100% sure. Nick, do you know that if that's? I believe that that's accurate though. Like because I've seen
Actually,
people.
yeah, I actually think like the top bit has to be there for a little bit. So I think if
Yeah,
you
it's 24
leapfrog,
hours of their
yes,
timestamp, right? So
yeah.
I can
So
show you.
there actually can be multiple days without bits just by leapfrogging exactly.
So
I actually put in a bid for NKCSS like on May 21st, 2021, apparently. So 2
it's
years
not
ago.
the last one to place a bid though. I mean,
No, it's a top bid and it has to exist for a while.
yeah. So there's this timestamp, this bid timestamp.
Yep.
So let's say this is 349, which that's going to be tomorrow now, at least my time, if this is working by my time. So Worker Wax is now competing with Chris V or over Chris V, but they're bidding against somebody. That's why I think this got so high and such a weird number. And so whoever wants William, they're going to bid back 10% plus this. As long as they do that before 3:49 and 10 seconds tomorrow.
Actually, I think if you
game
look at the bids to claim, you can see the one that cleared recently. Like that one is a later fire. Like there was one June 15th for 8 HA. It's in local time zone.
Yeah. Wheel of names for
Yeah.
AH for how much is that? 2,000 wax?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe one has resolved in between actually.
Yeah. Look
I would
at
have to look on chain.
I guess you could probably just go and look at extrapolate. We're about halfway through the year right now. And you could see how many approximately would clear in a year's time, but it's just so broken. It's dumb. And then I was pointing it out how much, because I had one in for TD, and then some troll went and I wouldn't like. Here's the thing, I didn't. If I wanted it, I would have had it. Like I wouldn't have been talking about it on stream. I'm not that stupid. Yes, I had a bid in on it for 1250 wax, and I was not going up on it no matter what. And so there was no way I was going to ever compete, even if somebody put it in for a little bit. I wasn't even watching it. So whoever paid 10,000 wax for that, that's a shitty domain to have because yeah, so it's that timestamp that you got to look at. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was obviously somebody who watches the streams, I would imagine, because they also had like Shing and some other taco related stuff. Well, it's whatever. I would imagine somebody who steals through rugs, because dropping 10K per name is quite a bit, especially when the bid itself never warranted that.
I just checked my wallet. I actually still have an Elite Warsaken pack with mint number 22 out of
what?
Yeah.
Are you gonna open it?
Maybe. Not
if you
now,
do, you
though.
gotta do it. Yeah. Hold off on it. If you do, you gotta open it on stream. I'm gonna tell Coleman about it. Number 22.
Yeah, number 22. I still have that one.
Can you send me a screenshot of it in Discord?
Yeah, sure. I'll send you the link so that you can see them.
Oh yeah. All right, 30 seconds on this last one. If you're not in, get in. Oh damn. Yeah, so I remember these.
I opened a bunch of those.
That's dope.
Back then.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get you to. All right. All right, here we go. If you're not in, you're out.
Man, it's
Damn it.
past midnight here already.
Yeah, dude, time flies, man. Oh shit, it's the wrong macro. I'm probably even dead already. So, dude, this was awesome. We should circle back after maybe have you back on and have you take a look at some of the things that I'm working, will be working, and will hopefully all have done by then. In fact, I could probably send you some sneak peek non-public stuff in DM. But for the most part, I feel like I share things in your Telegram, and I feel like it's just a nice little safe space there. I don't know why I just assume that, but I do. All right, Nostalgeek's still in there, Tissue's still in there, Walter's still in there. That means 420 weed will win. Look at that. See how that works, y'all? Do you see how that works? Somebody clip that and send it to Gaz and say, dude, the jig is up. We know how this works now.
Yeah, it's always nice. I like when people share like stuff they're working on and coding, so and preferably publicly so that other people can enjoy it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It's like I always try when I make something, even if it's just something stupid. Like I think like a few days ago, I was wondering for like a CMS that I'm building, is there a way for me to get every CSS rule that's defined, like every class name that's defined in a CSS rule that is loaded? I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Let's try to do it. Yeah. I posted it in my Telegram.
Because I do a lot of I steal a lot of CSS from sites that where I see something like, ooh, I like that, and then I'll go pull up the the inspector and I'll get in there and
for me, I just wanted to like if I have like an editor where you can apply stuff and maybe choose CSS classes that I can validate that it's actually a CSS class that exists.
I've shown you this. This is just
yeah, you showed it.
Yeah, dude. SVG morphing is a lot harder than it looks, man. It really is. And yeah, there's something that's going to be, so this is just going to be like a directory site, really, for shared and collaborated on projects and whatnot.
Maybe you can be my index site.
Absolutely. I would love to. I couldn't ask for, it would be an honor, undoubtedly. Yeah, man. Let's build some shit, man. It's the time to do it. I would love to see, and that's kind of like the crux of everything that we're building. And when I say we, the Chain Champs NFTG collaboration is really all about making things more accessible, easier, more efficient, or better for the creators out there. Like I feel like that's who you like. We've been catering to the degens because that's where the money is for the projects. But what people like, what's really going to stay and have value is catering to the creatives and because this space is so, like I say, Wild West, but like, you know what else the Wild West had was like prairies and just open land for you to go build a city. You know what I mean? Like the set, to establish something, right? And on an established area. And unfortunately, nobody has anything really. If they're not already in construction, they don't know how to build a house. And so we're hopefully going to make that a lot easier, and the things that they'll need in between that make it a lot more affordable and feasible, and hopefully it works. So yeah, just keep a lookout for that. What do you have for this audience before we let them go?
Nothing really. I just had fun coming here. I usually don't have stuff to plug or anything. I'm just having fun. So
yeah, again, if y'all missed the Wax Tools site, dude, go check your balances. because I just cleared a decent little chunk.
Yeah, and
of-
then send it to me. So I think you're down, Nat.
Nah. Because watch, I bet you if I log into another wallet, it's gonna show me another pile. Actually, I'm curious really quick. Let me check my T Davis M Force. I'm curious to see. Hey, is there what other alternatives to Anchor do I have as a user? Let's say I didn't want to use it. I love Grey Mass. I love those guys, but I hate Anchor, man.
Yeah, the thing is, there's libraries to sign stuff. So there's no interactive wallets like that. And the issue is like a website has to support it. So you have to have something there to support Cloud Wallet. You have to have something to support Anchor. You have something to support Wombat, etc. So if it's not there, you can have a different wallet and it does nothing. So
this Nefty balance ain't bad, dude. 92 Nefty over here. What? That's not bad.
So yeah, I like to code stuff like the like for your claiming. It's what you could do if you really wanted to is like if you have Anchor, it has like ESR : / and then a magic.
Oh right. Yeah.
You could hijack that and write your own ESR handler and then sign stuff yourself. Like that's going pretty far, but it would be fun.
You could do it with the browser add-on though, right? Without a doubt, you could. In fact, you could probably do it in what's that one that I had?
For the browser link, you would have to actually hijack stuff, but for the ESR stuff, I think you can do that.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, is there a way to do that for WaxDAO? I'm not sure what you want to do exactly for WaxDAO.
Also, don't forget, I'll ping you about this. I need my NFTV crystallizations.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me know how much you need for RAM. I want a bunch. I'll send it over.
Nah, it's okay. The issue that I have with this thing is that I don't have something to burn or claim like multiple NFTs at a time. So that's something I should probably add support for, because there was somebody's like, okay, I have like 1,000 of these NFTs. There's an easy way to burn them all.
Do you have to burn them in at a particular spot, like on this site?
No, you have to burn it yourself. If you send it away to get burned, then the person that you send it to gets the balance. So you don't want to do that. But if you just use the regular burn or use
like that used to have on Atomic Hub, right? They used to have, or Nefty has it, right? I mean, I just saw it on stream not too long ago, so I know that.
Yeah, you can just burn it. There's just an action on NFTs that just works. But yeah.
Right. I got you. All right, dude. Sweet.
People want to have I actually, if you know Blue DAC, they asked me to make something. I built something for that so that you could like claim forgotten stuff, etc. But yeah, maybe I should help Mike out and build something for WaxDAO as well. Mike is a good dude. I don't know if you've talked to him already.
Yeah, it's a long story. Mike and I are good as far as I know.
Okay.
He did take that little vacation, and that was like I think it's the last time we spoke. But yeah, nothing negative to say about Mike. Yeah, so go to Wallet Tools Claim. He's actually here in Texas. Last time he reached out to me, he said, "Come to 6th Street," and it was like 10:30 at night. And I don't know if you know about 6th Street in Austin, but it's like, I don't know. It's like the equivalent of like a Bourbon Street in Louisiana or anything similar. I guess maybe, I don't know. What is there? What's the nightlife in where you're at? Is there like any like really like touristy, huge, like just bars everywhere? Like almost, I want to say like red light district, but like that's not
red light district in Amsterdam.
That's not what I'm meaning. Like it's not all.
Yeah, but if you go to Amsterdam, like the red light district is also the place where lots of non-hooking up happens. There's like the players bar, like a big sports bar, so you can also go there and do normal stuff and hang out. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So 6th Street's the equivalent of that. I'm like, dude, I need more notice than that. Like
I need to
I can't
prepare.
just yeah, like I gotta make sure that my day's clear tomorrow. If I end up in jail, like it's a whole thing. And so yeah, that's the last time I heard with him. I hope he's doing okay. It looks I don't know if he's running for OIG. If he is, I wish him luck. I don't have much to say about any of the candidates. Really, I don't know Danish well enough. I won't speak on the other, and it is what it is. I feel like anybody, like I feel like you, man. Like this one is, I feel like just a complete waste of effort and time and frustration, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this new one pans out. But
Yeah,
honestly, though, I think Cave was a really good dude that because of his, like, he's been so ingrained
He's-
with wax, and I
right.
think he's, for some
He's
of
the
the
most
stuff that he's done, like to
Right.
try to peg the pay to USD so that guilds don't kill over and stuff like that. I don't think there's anybody else that could have gotten to do
Why
that in the
why
position
is
there.
that? I don't. So you spent how much money? Like, come on, bro. Like, so, and here's the thing. I'm gonna go off again. Like Anders NEO's bullshit article that I called him out on Twitter, but he did actually have the respect to write back in length a response to it. But don't be telling people that it costs $15,000 a month to run for just the labor, not even the equipment, just the people to run a node, because that's nonsense. That's nonsense. It doesn't cost anything because y'all aren't hiring anybody. And if you are, then show us the name of the business. You have to report that. You have to be reporting that somewhere. Show us that you have a legitimate business and you're paying your staff, but you're not, because you're super technical and you can handle all of this shit on your own. And that's what you do. And then you say, well, I should be wearing this hat, this hat, this hat, and this hat. And those are all $500K a year jobs. And like, it's ridiculous, man. I understand the hardware is expensive. I understand that. I was running a Hyperion node, just a Hyperion on AWS, and it was $1,600 a month on average. That's insane. Nobody runs it on AWS for that reason.
But lots of stuff runs in Hetzner, and if you have to buy it
Hetzner
yourself,
is
it's really
balls cheap. It's probably like maybe 200 for a node per month, but it's not like you just need one. And I think that's where.
But did you see the farewell post for EOS Sweden 2 days ago?
No.
I linked it to you in the chat. They actually
What?
and they post receipts, like they lost, I think, 278,000 USD over the past 18 months on running EOS nodes. So they pulled the plug after being there from the start after 5 years.
So is that Anders? That is NEO,
that
right?
is the team that Anders is part of, yes. So, and that's pretty big, because I think they're a pretty important team.
Don't they have a key for Atomic Hub, Atomic Assets contract? I think they do. And so there's already one block producer that nobody knows where the key went for. That being the one that used to run the blocks.io. You know what I'm talking about?
But
I forget who that is. And
Metal.
then I think
Yeah,
well, so yeah, it's Metallicus now,
that.
but it was a BP before that. And so now I wonder what happens with that. In my opinion, it should be a BP's. It should be somebody who's clearly invested in the success or the chain. If EOS Sweden is leaving, they should relinquish those keys. Do you agree?
But this is on EOS, not Wax, right?
Oh, I thought it said all EOS IO.
No. They're EOS, like the other blockchain. They do stuff for multiple chains.
Everybody does. That's another thing.
Not
okay.
everybody,
I read this wrong then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's true. You shouldn't make absolute statements like that. I'm sorry.
No, but there are actually quite a few, I think, that just do wax. But I think the majority tries to do multiple, because it's just, once you're running one Antelope chain or EOSIO,
Yeah,
formally,
one guy does 11.
It's easier to do more, and it's
Yeah.
just picking up tokens. Yeah, hoping that it will do something in the future. And like a lot of the smaller chains are not as big as EOS or Wax, because I really think that you underestimate the cost involved to run it. But on the other hand, you said, well,
I don't. I just don't. I just know for a fact that on top of what it costs, it's not $15,000 in labor per month. It's just not. I'm sorry, it just isn't. You can't, like, the job descriptions that were being compared to were ones where, like, you would, like, what was it, engine, senior developer or senior engineer, like, yeah, they do that job of, like, watching over, like, a node and making sure the servers and blah blah blah, but they also do that for about probably like 20 to 25 projects, all of the same size, as their full-time job. So it's not just one. If they had just one, there'd be no need for that position. They'd be fired. Or so to say that it takes this qualification of an employee to do this specific thing is one thing. To say that, and they get paid $125K a year, like, that's, like, dude, that's not accurate. You got to divide that by like 20, because it's, and nobody's doing it. Like, I would how come where are all the BP staff at? How come they're not chatting in like the in the channels? You know what I mean? Like, I would be encouraging my developers and my lead engineers and all the, like, to go interact and learn shit in the Antelope chain. But no, who's in there? Like, the one or two guys that claim that they are spending so much on staff. Like, it's ridiculous. So anyway, I don't know why we were sitting play. We're going off the air. I guess maybe we're not. Did I run one? I didn't. I don't think y'all. Oh shit. Yeah, y'all are beat. All right, we'll do one more, and then I got to get back to work. Go.
I need to
30
get to
seconds.
sleep.
Yeah, we're gonna let Nick go. Nick, thank you so much for joining. I'll run this grubfish. Without you, I super appreciate you, man.
No
Thank you
worries.
so
It's
much
been
for
fun.
everything. Yeah, get some rest. And
Tomorrow morning, I have to take the youngest to swimming lessons. Bright and early,
nice.
so- Yep.
Yeah, dude. Sweet. All right, brother. Thank you so much, man. I'll talk to you in your Telegram channel.
Yes.
All right. Later, my friend.
Thank you. It's been fun. Bye, everybody, and good luck on the latest grubfish. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, go. Oh, look at that. Not many of y'all got in there. Master Race is going to kill y'all.
We're going to bridges. Losing service on bridges. Gonna have.
Oh, y'all can probably hear my audio too, can't you? Who won? Naveed. Shout out Naveed. Who was our second place? Master Race. We knew it. And gold. What? Oh, because I started it late and then put a 30-second timer on it and then let it go. And y'all were punching play, but it wasn't open because I had said we weren't doing another one, but y'all didn't hear that. And then because I saw all of them, I was like, oh, fuck it. I'll do one more. And I said, if you put play in, put it back in again, blah, blah, blah. All good. Any complaints can be taken up with Wiga. Just kidding, we got. I appreciate you, dude. And y'all are going to go say hi to our friend over at Captain Dejan. Send our love, as we will. Have a great weekend. We love you. Please be kind to your fellow human. You never know what they're going through. And have a good one. Late.